Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Row one, seat one, Joey Fats Radio. Always a pleasure to be with you live right here. The one, the only, the New Bedford Guide.
New Bedford Guide.
Joey Fats Radio, Row one, seat one, coming at you live. 774-992-8702 is the phone number if you want to get in touch with us. We had a week off last week. I'm sure most of you were very disappointed, very upset by that.
2 weeks, actually.
Was it 2 weeks? Has it been 2 weeks?
Sean and I had our draft
Oh,
specials.
yes, that's right. That's right, because we did. It's been 2 weeks, right?
No, 2 weeks ago we ran into an issue with my work getting in the way.
It was
best way to describe it without
yeah.
getting too much into detail.
Yeah, well, something like that. So Sean and
last week I was on vacay.
Well, so was this motherfucker.
No, that was last week. I was the week before I was on vacay.
Oh, that's right. Oh, well, two of us couldn't have made it. So it would have been Joey just being like, let's eat some crackers.
It'd just be like
2 hours.
I'd just be doing like my best like Larry King impressions, like shoulders up, like
Right.
So you told me that. Oh my God, has my cat been eating this? Yes, she has.
Jerry Seinfeld, I heard you got cancer.
Wow, what a cunt!
Dude,
my cat was chewing on this.
Good thing that his career is over.
That is a great segue, Sean. Drew Lock rookie card. Still going to be worth something someday.
Definitely.
We will talk about whether or not his career is, in fact, over because will the Denver Broncos, my Denver Broncos, go from John Elway to Peyton Manning to Aaron fucking Rodgers, perhaps? Oh, I should probably update the ticker, huh?
I mean, but
that might help.
There was a lot of trash in between those guys. Let's not forget about that.
Tons.
Trash. I mean, John Elway left, and then what'd you have?
He didn't leave.
Well, when he retired.
Oh, you're talking about...
He said Elway, Manning, Rodgers, and I said there was a whole bunch of trash in between all of those guys.
Still some decent guys in there.
Besides Plummer, who you got?
Tebow, 1 year.
Besides Plummer, who you got?
I didn't stutter.
I know you didn't stutter, but I just didn't hear you correctly.
Listen,
I thought you said Tebow.
First of all, do not disrespect.
He had that one play,
Tebus
yes.
Christ,
Oh, he beat the Steelers. Yay. Woo,
Do not disrespect Tebus Christ, the future tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars, by the way.
Pat, how could you forget?
Hey, by the way, we talked about this really quickly on our draft night special show. Once again, anybody who joined us, we had like 400 or 500 of you that have ended up viewing that page. Thank you very much. That was pretty cool. The same thing, sorry for the end of the night Facebook shenanigans where the Facebook was just like, you know what? Y'all been talking too long.
Well, it was a beginning. You couldn't get on in the beginning, so we had all kinds of shit messing us up.
Well, Facebook wouldn't allow it. Facebook just said, nah, and then it allowed it fine.
We figured it out. We got some momentum
going. We had
going.
an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes of straight us talking, and all of a sudden it was just like,
yeah,
when do y'all got to go?
I watched the entire thing myself. I did. I watched the whole show. It was great, actually. I thought you guys did a really good job. Your picks were almost on point. Like,
you went 4 for 5. You went 4 for 5 to start off.
No. The first 5 I got right. And then I think the sixth pick,
so
Miami
effed
effed me. And then after that, I think I only got one other one wrong. And then we started getting kicked off at pick 12 or 13.
Well, it was after Mac Jones, yeah.
No. We got kicked off before Mac Jones because we had a hard time getting on during the Mac Jones pick. As soon as the Patriots picked Mac Jones, it didn't kick us off anymore. I was like, you rat bastard. We went to pick like 17 or 18. And
I just couldn't do it. My
we
back
just
was...
tapped out. We were at 2.5 hours in at that point.
Yeah.
But a great show. Thank you all for joining us. That's like
appreciate you all.
I really find that shit so much fun, especially calling the draft live on air. You actually get to hear me say like what I think teams should do and where they should go, and I'm pretty spot on most of the time. Keith was way ahead of me, so I was like, Keith, don't spoil it for me. Because Keith, I was on like a 30-second delay because I was watching through my tablet, so I was way behind.
hate when that. I know. I could tell.
So I was like, do you want me to pause? He's like, no. I was like, but then what do you want me to do?
You should have synced it up. That way I was wrong.
I wanted to be live just that way when people were watching it. Because if we waited for Sean, they would have been a minute behind.
Well, it's so funny because when you watch the draft live, too, now, like, you see, they're like, and the pick is in, and it's Pat Surtain, and then they go to, like, live to Pat Surtain's living room, and it's, like, 4 minutes ago, and everybody's just, like, sitting around, like, all right, like, when we getting picked, and then it's, like, 30 seconds of nothing, and they're like, bah! Like,
there was a draft pick in the 3rd or 4th round. God forgive me, I don't know who it is. I died laughing. He got drafted. They had a ceiling fan and like this huge like cathedral like ceilings. The dude threw a whole bag of tortilla chips into the fan and it exploded and rained down on the whole family.
That was on purpose.
Obviously.
It was 100% on purpose.
Okay, that had to have been because that's
celebrating.
That is a classic move right there.
Yeah,
that
right.
is fucking hilarious.
Supposed to be popcorn.
Everyone's dancing. Like they're probably playing like Whitney Houston's like Dance with Somebody. Everyone's dancing, but it was fucking
Sean,
hilarious.
you realize the kids getting drafted are like 20? They don't know what the hell that song is.
They don't know
Everybody know who Whitney Houston is.
They don't know that song.
They know Whitney Houston's boyfriend used to do a lot of coke.
With Whitney Houston.
Bobby? Oh yeah, he's back. Oh, is he back? Is he dead too?
No, he ain't dead. He's like the only one that
I
survived.
know, right? Of all the people.
If you think about, he's like the old Simpsons Mr. Burns analogy, where he did so many drugs that it's like a doorway trying to get through. They're all just jammed in the doorway, so he doesn't die.
So it's like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah,
They are alive because of cocaine.
Cocaine.
I think I want to try me some of that cocaine. No, Dewey.
I took cocaine.
You don't want none of that.
It's like Dr. Roxo over here. But anyway, so we'll get into the NFL draft. We'll go through all the first round drama, everything that was, everything that is. But first, we're going to kick the show off. First and foremost, like and share the show. Make sure you give it a boot and you like that shit. Share that shit. You know, everybody likes to do that shit because that's nice. Do that. And then if you want the audio-only stream, if you're watching on Facebook Live and you say, hey, you know what, I'd love to listen to this show, but I don't really want to tie up my phone and have to constantly be on Facebook to watch it, that's great. We have a audio-only stream that you can tap into. It's at www.mixler.com, mixlr.com/Joey-Fats. I stickied the comment on the original post. I'll sticky it here right on row one, seat one as well. So you can go ahead and get that link. You can get the audio only. So you can listen to the show live and then still not have to tie up your phone. Like if you're like me, I like to listen to my podcast and then do a billion other things while I'm listening to my podcast.
Of course.
You know, I'm on. I might be listening to like the Jerry Callahan podcast or Dan
Well, you could
Bongino
be like me and have your
or
computer.
I'm driving too
whomever.
most of the time.
yeah.
Right.
But even like if I'm just taking a shit, like I'll throw on the Jerry Callahan podcast and be like, oh, Turtle Boy's on today,
poopy.
or Tom Shattuck. You know, those are good listens, and I don't want to miss that. But I'd like to watch the Facebook Live video, but I can't do it without tying up without tying up my phone on Facebook, which really sucks. So we have given you an option to have a audio-only stream where you can now go to the website, click. It'll ask you to download the app if you want to. Great. There's a ton of great content on Mixler that you can find, including every show we've ever done. And then
it goes way deep.
It goes back. It'll be 8 years in October. We'll be coming up on the 8-year anniversary in October, so we're 7.5 years deep worth of shows.
Well,
so we will get
just
into
made what, year 4 for me? 3?
Four.
Yeah, you're 18. No, 17.
17.
Sorry.
4 for him and 7 for him. Because he was 2014.
Hon.
2014.
I joined after the
You
mental
can really
orange
dance.
crush.
Wow.
Yes, you had after the orange crushed.
Wow.
You came in.
I had just quit my second job.
Yeah, no, you came in the beginning of 2014, the 2014 season.
No, it was
Yes.
No, 2014 season. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I quit the summer of 2014.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't quit. I was off.
because I was still living in my apartment at
New
that
Bed-
point
New Beige.
in New Beige behind Ma's Donuts. Remember we had that little fart locker of a
Mars
spare
Donuts.
room.
I can't wait
Yeah.
till that comes back.
Dude, we had those chairs felt like they're 4 feet high because my legs would be numb. I'd hop off the chair and I'd be like, I can't walk.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that's like me every night now.
Well, you were using those chairs.
No, it wasn't these. At least I grew.
Oh, maybe we had little
No,
chairs.
I
in
am
there
Groot.
back
No,
then.
I think we had taller, thinner chairs.
No,
All right,
those.
we don't need to talk about chairs anymore. Let's get to the fucking draft.
So anyway, this really interesting thing. We got chairs to talk about.
Say anything
so-
besides chair.
Hold on, let me put this link up here.
Chair.
Mixler.
No chairs.
No chairs?
My hat finally came in.
Very nice.
It's such a dope hat.
Very nice. If you guys, if you're Griffey fans like me, which half the people at work didn't know who the hell Griffey was. Which
I was gonna say, did you have to explain who that is to some people?
a very few, yes.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
They're like, oh, what's that hat all about? I was like, it's Griffey. They're like, who? I was like,
don't-
all right,
Dude,
you
young
can
kids,
go home.
Young kids don't know who Ken Griffey
Bro, they
is.
don't. I was like, Ken Griffey Jr.? They were like, yeah, no, it means nothing to me. I'm like, wow.
They're
Like,
like
well,
white
one of the greatest players ever, if not the greatest player ever. And they're like, yeah, no, I still don't know it. I was like, okay, well, case in point, wicked cool, hit a lot of home runs, wore an earring and put his hat backwards when he'd hit bombs,
If you had to explain to somebody who Ken Griffey Jr. is, that's just at that point. I'm just like, nah, I'm out.
Well,
See you later.
I mean, unfortunately, I'm going to have to see them tomorrow at work.
Yeah, well, I would just still remove myself from that conversation basically immediately. But anyway, so let's get into a little bit of let's get into some NFL action. The big story, obviously, the draft happened this past weekend, but Thursday a bombshell dropped, an absolute nuke, something that would make the Japanese blush. Fell on the Twitter waves, on the social media waves. by none other than Adam, the one, the great, the Adam Schefter, that there was a report that was surfacing that claimed to know on good authority, Aaron Rodgers was no longer interested in playing for the Green Bay Packers. Now, this comes as a surprise to basically no one who's been following the situation, but we'll take you back over the last, 3-4 years about why this has kind of been brewing.
At least 2.
And we'll go back to, I have an article from, I believe it was 2018.
I mean, we could just go back to a year ago today. The draft.
Yeah, a year ago.
Let's see.
Well, that's where it started.
With our first round draft pick, we're gonna go with a quarterback.
So before we get into the rumors that the Denver Broncos are the leaders in the clubhouse right now to land and acquire the services of one Aaron fucking Rodgers.
Hey.
Let's get into a little bit about how we got to this point.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
the Packers have really fucked this up, right? Like, Brian Gutekunst, Goonie, as he's so affectionately known, he's screwed the pooch royally. You had a 37-year-old quarterback who came out and won the MVP last year, and you have not only alienated him and pissed him off, but you've alienated and pissed him off to the point where he is telling you, double-barrel middle fingers, I'm not playing for you next year. And there is a report, rumor granted, this is a rumor, I don't think this is true, but it is a rumor, that Aaron Rodgers has said the only way he will remain in Green Bay is if the Packers fire Brian Gutekunst.
No, I think that's been almost confirmed.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I don't think it's true because I don't think Aaron Rodgers would actually call for another man's job.
I mean, I get that.
I think he would just be like,
I get that, but
no,
he'd be like,
move on from me.
Yeah, like, I think
Because even if they fire Gutekunst...
All right, so I'm going to play bad guy.
Okay.
So you guys can talk about the Aaron Rodgers aspect of things.
Sure.
I'm going to play the Packers.
All right.
Okay?
So who
go
would
ahead.
you like me to be in this scenario?
So-
Yeah, you two can play the
Well,
Aaron Rodgers defense. I'm going to hammer home the Packers.
Okay, so you lead off then.
Okay, so 37-year-old quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
How many Super Bowls has he won us in
One.
the 12 years that he's been here?
One.
How many has he brought us to?
One.
Why the fuck do I care about this 37-year-old quarterback anymore?
Let me ask you that. Let me answer that question. He is a perennial MVP candidate, regardless of the players you put around him on offense. You have given him a plethora of white backups, and he has turned them into legitimate playmakers and amazing playoff contenders.
And also, in turn, he's hurt my back pocket, so I can't go out and get these top stars.
He's hurt your back pocket,
Somewhat.
but he's also
Somewhat.
one of the most recognizable faces in football. He is a household name if anybody knows what the NFL is.
That brought me one Super Bowl in 12 years.
Is that really all Aaron Rodgers'
Okay,
fault?
so
though?
let me ask you this. In the last 10 years, how many first-round draft picks have the Packers spent on an offensive player?
One.
Yes, and who was that one?
A quarterback.
His replacement. So when you look at this from an Aaron Rodgers standpoint, okay, they don't go into free agency. They don't go after an Odell Beckham. They don't go after
Allen Robinson.
Jarvis Landry. They don't go after. They don't try and make a trade for D Hop. They don't go. They're not knocking on the Falcons' door inquiring about Julio Jones. You know, they're basically telling Aaron Rodgers. They're saying, look, okay, and this is where the Packers are fucked because. Right now, the Packers are a Super Bowl contender, right? We all know they've been to the NFC Championship the last 2 years in a row. They lost to the Niners and they lost to the Bucks. Okay, the Niners had the game in the bag until Jimmy G, missed the throw and some shit happened, and the Bucks ended up winning the Super Bowl. So they've been the top 2 or 3, arguably best team in the league the last 2 years.
The Packers are always at least top 4 in the NFC.
Why is that?
Because of Aaron Rodgers.
Because of Aaron Rodgers. Not because Devontae Adams wasn't a first-round pick.
Nope.
Okay?
Yeah, none of them were. Driver wasn't.
Donald, I'm not even going back that far.
No, but if you want to go to where he started, he never
you
had
had the
a
Lizard King, Valdez Scantling, like all these guys.
Jordy Nelson was a 4th-round pick.
Yes.
Exactly. So why, if I am Aaron Rodgers, why am I putting any type of faith into the Packers organization, the Packers front office, who has refused to even not only go out and sign anybody in free agency, which I know isn't the Packers' MO. I know it's not they're not a big free, but you can't spend a first-round draft pick on someone on a receiver. You already have the quarterback. You have the most important piece on the field. Why are you not doing everything you can to surround him? Take Tampa Bay, for example. How did Tampa Bay approach Tom Brady this past offseason?
At which point?
They gave him. They basically
You mean
said
before he went there, or
no,
like
when he got
now
there.
after the Super Bowl?
they both.
Okay.
They said, who do you want? You want Antonio Brown? You got him. You want Gronk? You got him. You want Leonard Fournette? You got him.
But
Who do you want,
Is that how
Tom?
it's supposed to be?
Yes and no.
In today's NFL? Yes.
But
because when you have a
but,
great quarterback and hold on.
Okay.
Because when you're one of those 5 quarterbacks in the league, maybe 6, that you are a guaranteed 10 to 12 win team just based on your quarterback. Yes, you do everything you can to get that guy everything that they need in order to win a Super Bowl. You sell out for that guy.
Now, what
the
did he-
Patriots did it for the last 6
But
years.
what
with
have we
Brady.
learned in the Super Bowl for the past 4 years?
What about it?
If you can't stop them, it doesn't matter how many points you put up, you're going to lose the Super Bowl.
So you mean to tell me that when they went out, the Packers going out and getting the Smith brothers 2 years ago, that was their answer? Because it's not like the Packers have gone out and splurged on defense
No,
either.
but look at all their draft have been utilized for defense or line help. That's been their draft for
but-
the past 6 years.
Not first round picks.
They just
not
they
on the
just
line.
they just don't
no,
value
Not
first round
offensive
picks.
line.
First round picks have been more defense.
they don't value offensive weapons as highly as the Patriots do the same thing. We don't. This is the first year we've drafted a quarterback in the first round since Drew Bledsoe in 1992.
Yeah.
So it just depends on like what your needs are. If
Well-
their whole thing, the
And
Packers
it's not just
organization,
that. It's exactly the Packers.
The Packers-
are the They're never going to be today's NFL.
so wait,
They're
they're
Green
damned.
Bay.
Well, they
They're
better
damned-
fucking figure it out because they're about to go into a season with Jordan Love under center. And just a quick reminder to those who are paying attention or not paying attention, Jordan Love couldn't beat out fucking what's-his-name to be the backup last year. Jordan Love was your third-string quarterback. So you traded up back into the first round to take a quarterback who wasn't even good enough to become your backup. And now you're alienating Aaron fucking Rodgers, arguably the best quarterback in the league.
Well, case in point, look when they took Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, but Aaron Rodgers fell to them. That was different.
But when did they take him?
Because they weren't planning on taking Aaron Rodgers. Because no one in Green Bay even thought for a half a second that Aaron Rodgers was going to be available when it got to them at 24 or 25, whatever it was.
25, I think.
Yes, correct.
No one thought that was going to happen.
They thought he was going
fell
top 8.
He fell into their lap.
Yes.
And they were like,
Thank
well,
you.
shit, we have to take him now. I mean, gosh, like I look back and I'm like, fuck, why couldn't the Broncos have taken him? Like, Jesus Christ.
But then everyone can say that. Same thing with me. But then why would I? Exactly. It's like he was so valuable at that low at the end of the first round that you had to take him because the value was just too high.
Yeah.
But as the Packers organization, they're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, okay? So what happens if this whole time they just load up offensively? The Packers have never had a problem with offense. The Packers have always been one of the top teams when it comes to offense, no matter
Why
no matter
is that?
who they put around Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
And they already know the answer. They're like, you know what? Let's go splurge on defense.
And
Because
that's what they do.
We can just do whatever we want with offense because
So
we have
you
Aaron
mean
Rodgers.
you mean to tell me they couldn't have given up a second-round pick for D-Hop last year?
They
Because-
chose not
Because
it
maybe
feels
because,
like laziness.
because maybe D-Hop on the other side of Devontae Adams is the answer that they needed
but Joe,
to get past the Buccaneers.
How many
in that
teams?
defense.
How many teams offered a second round for DeAndre Hopkins?
One.
Okay, then. So you can't be like, well, the Packers couldn't have done this. No
Yes.
other fucking team did it.
Of course I can.
it might have been
Why
course
didn't
I
the
can say-
Broncos do it? Why didn't the Patriots do it?
It might have been
Why
one
didn't
of those
fucking
backdoor.
San
It might have
Francisco
been
do
one of
it?
those backdoor deals where one team calls another.
He went just like this. Will you take my piece of shit, David Johnson, please?
Well,
sure.
No,
okay.
Same thing happened with the Patriots with Garoppolo way back when. Belichick called one team. He said, "Hey, San Fran, do you want Jimmy?" They said, "Sure." What are you going to offer us? He said, "How about a second? Done deal." Now the Cleveland Browns came out and said, "We didn't even know he was available. We would have offered our end of round first round pick because they had 2 that year." Patriots fans got all pissed off. Me, myself, I was like a little bit pissed off, but Belichick specifically pointed him in San Francisco because he wanted him to do well and with the hopes of potentially getting him back in the future, which almost came to fruition again.
Instead,
so
you got Jones.
we'll get to that later. But I really do. I understand it from the Packers' point of view, and I understand it from Rodgers' point of view.
I don't understand this from the Packers' point of view at all.
To them-
I don't.
to them-
I really don't.
To them,
Because-
they were like, offense is fine. We're trying to build a defense to stop other teams.
And that's my thing.
And
Like,
that's what I think
dude,
all it
look,
is.
Yeah,
since,
but
since
but
the
you didn't
Rams
need-
and
but you
Patriots
didn't-
Super Bowl.
Your defense was good enough to intercept Brady 3 times in the second half of the NFC Championship game.
Yes.
Your offense wasn't good enough to score 8 points on 3 drives.
But that wasn't the
Even
problem.
with Aaron Rodgers.
That wasn't the problem all year.
And Aaron Rodgers, all right, let me ask you this. Who played better in the NFC Championship? Tom Brady or Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
But they both
What
played.
offense-
They both played a bad game.
No, they didn't. Aaron Rodgers didn't play.
Aaron
poorly.
Rodgers threw 2 picks,
Aaron
didn't he?
No, he threw
No,
none.
Brady threw 3.
Brady threw
No, Aaron
3.
Rodgers threw one in the first half.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. He did. He had
Remember
one.
he threw one behind fucking.
Yeah, he threw
One,
one
but
right.
he had one.
No, I
though.
thought he had 2. There was a
99%,
tip
99%.
drill in like the third quarter that killed the drive that they were going for. I'm telling you,
Those are what?
a tip drill.
Not what I thought you said.
What'd you think I said?
No,
There
it was
was some kind of
he
tit
threw
drill.
one interception in the first half, and that led to the Scotty Miller touchdown.
Yeah, it was when he threw behind fucking Lizard Man.
Yeah, he threw it behind
But then
Lazard.
it was Valdez Scantlin. He tried hitting him on a post, and it got tipped by a linebacker, and they picked it up. I'm telling you, he had 2 picks.
Okay, maybe he had 2 picks. He still played better than
Tom Brady played
Tom
like
Brady.
shit, but
Brady played like shit. So you mean to tell me that in those 3 drives that Aaron Rodgers had, you don't think he could have used, I don't know, a guy like Noah Fant at tight end that could have gone up the seam, maybe made a couple catches at tight end? You don't think he could have used a guy, like I don't know, DeAndre Hopkins, which we've already said.
yeah, but Joe, you can say that about every team that's in the playoffs.
Couldn't have used an Emmanuel Sanders, right? But the Packers
Couldn't the
have
Bears use Deshaun Watson?
Who
I
have
mean,
the,
like,
but
you know.
who have the Packers gone out and got in order to help that offense out and make it a dominant offense? It's a great offense right now.
Shockey.
It's a great offense right now, and you have Aaron Rodgers. You should be supplying Aaron Rodgers with everything that he could possibly want. All the toys, all the bells and whistles, because that offense can only get
who's
better.
the biggest free agent they got? Graham? You
Jimmy
say Jimmy Graham was
Yeah,
the
Jimmy
biggest
Graham
free
was
agent
one.
they got?
No, Jimmy Graham wasn't considered a big free agent because no team signed him.
Right, no, but I'm saying like a pass catcher.
That's pretty much
Name
it.
another free agent they went after.
They don't.
I'm trying to think of recent, like in the last 5 years.
No,
I
that's
can't
what I'm
think
saying.
of anybody.
I mean, they've always gone after like the B guys.
They paid the top of the market for Aaron Jones to keep him here this year.
They did.
They paid top of the
They
market.
did, and he makes the offense roll.
And not for nothing, but Devontae Adams hasn't signed his extension yet.
No,
This
he
is
hasn't. I think he's waiting.
He's waiting
hear
to see what happens with Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Rodgers
Damn
is
right he
gone,
is.
and Adams is like, yeah, fuck you.
Devontae Adams might say, you know
Watkins.
what? I don't think I'm
Oh,
really
Cleveland,
gonna-
you want to make a trade? We'll take OBJ for Adams. Go ahead. See you later. Bye.
We'll get to that with wide receiver trades coming up too.
Okay.
But
Okay.
from a Green Bay standpoint, this makes absolutely no fucking sense. The fact that Green Bay has let it get to this point is an embarrassment to the front office. You
Yes.
have an MVP caliber, top, at worst, on his worst day, a top 3 quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And you've let it get to the point where he's basically like, I'm not playing for you anymore.
Did you
Trade
know
me.
the last month? No, we're in May. 2 months ago, in March, Aaron Rodgers was due a guaranteed bonus for this year. All he had to do was rework his contract, just smallly make it like a to be earned incentive, a workout bonus incentive, and they could have saved $7 to $8 million off the cap. The team didn't even bother to reach out at all, and Rodgers didn't bother to reach out to the team
It
either.
was just like, well,
There has been
Fuck
a
you.
cold, decisive line drawn in the sand that says, "Nope."
well,
And
how do you
it's-
think?
It's both ways.
Look at a Jeopardy show when that contestant wrote, "Who was it that called for the field goal?"
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Rodgers was just like, "Yeah, that is a good question, but that's not the answer that we're looking for." What do you think that was right there? He was just
I
like,
get
"Hey,
it.
Green Bay, fuck you."
I get it, but we knew it last year. He said it the day after on the Pat McCaffrey show.
Yes,
and
he
he
did.
said, just like he was just absolutely shocked. And I called it a year ago. I said, as soon as that moment happened, I said, he's done.
Yeah,
So
we
this
were all
is-
talking.
I said,
We were
this
all
is his
talking.
last year as a Packer.
Now,
Now,
Pat,
I thought for sure I thought for sure it would get through this year.
and just let his contract fizzle.
And he was just going to go out after this year, and they were going to move on from him beyond this year because Green Bay's reluctancy to sign him to an extension beyond this year is basically the proof and all the proof you need that Green Bay's not committed to him
Well,
past
and-
this year.
and-
And if you go back to this Yahoo Sports article from 2018, April 17th, 2018, Charles Robinson wrote, Aaron Rodgers would like more inclusion when the Green Bay Packers are making major personal decisions that impact him. The two decisions that this particular year were referring to were the departure of Jordy Nelson when they let him go, and they fired Alex Van Pelt, who was his quarterback coach that he was really close and tight with.
Yep.
And
So-
everybody loves Van Pelt in the league too.
This
He's a
is
former quarterback.
Every team
so
he's been
this
to, they
goes
rave
back
about him.
3 years now. There's been this.
Well, you know, him and Jordy were boys.
But this
That was
has
his
been
homie.
brewing,
That was like
though.
Julian Edelman and Tom Brady. Like they
this
were like freaking
Aaron
frat,
Rodgers Green Bay divorce has been brewing, and it's not because. And listen, people are going to paint Aaron Rodgers as the asshole in this situation.
No, I don't. I don't paint. I mean,
It's not at all. Not.
I can't
at
say
all.
that either of them is an asshole. I think they're both just stubborn.
I blame his newly engaged wife. Or
Again?
girlfriend, whatever her name
Oh,
is.
for like the ninth time.
She lives in Boulder.
He just needs to
Just
get with
saying.
J Lo and call it
Shut
a
up.
day.
Does she? Oh.
The two of them would just love doing this. Like,
Dude,
oh,
every-
I love you. We're gonna be together. Yeah, go
Keith,
fuck yourself.
everyone cheats on J-Lo. Something's wrong with that tree.
Oh, is that what it was with A-Rod? Is that
yeah.
what came out?
Well, A-Rod was just cheating massively, I guess. And she was like, can you please stop? And he was like, okay, I will. And then he just didn't.
And he was like, I can. No. We need more
Wow,
fresh
imagine
towels.
being wife to J-Lo and then having to
It's
be proposition.
everybody.
But imagine having like, does she not put out?
Maybe she's a prude.
Maybe it's just like she's difficult to deal with. I don't know. Who fucking knows?
She's gonna not put out.
Look at Mark Anthony. The guy looks like a rat, and he was cheating on her.
Maybe she looks. She probably gives terrible mouth hugs. That's probably what it is.
So
I don't
Pat
think so,
Pat made a
man.
good point in this. That he said Pat had a comment that said one Super Bowl need better coaches. His coaches were actually pretty good his entire career.
Mike McCarthy wasn't bad, but it was never.
Who's the other
for
guy,
me,
Sherman?
it's
Sherman was only
Sherman.
very short.
No, Sherman was gone.
No, I thought he had one
No, he
year
was a
with him.
couple years with
No,
Rodgers.
Sherman was gone. I think in 06.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was Sherman, then Mike McCarthy
Well, yeah,
took
because
over.
Favre had McCarthy.
Because 07 was the year that McCarthy took over, and they went to the NFC Championship, lost to the Giants.
Oh, okay, you're
yeah,
right.
Favre did have McCarthy.
Yeah.
You're right.
But
But then
no,
who was right after McCarthy? It's just been
this
him,
guy.
right? It's just
LaFleur.
been the two of them.
Yeah,
right?
LaFleur.
McCarthy and LaFleur. Facial LaFleur. Total facial. But if you go back through this, look, it's not the coaching.
Nope.
It's not Aaron Rodgers. It's the front office. They refuse to put anybody around Aaron Rodgers to help. Look, I don't care if you think D-Hop is the difference between a Super Bowl or losing the NFC Championship. I don't really give a fuck about your opinion on that because, quite frankly, you're probably wrong. All right? I've forgotten more than you've learned, so shut up. The point that I'm getting at is they have done nothing to make Aaron Rodgers feel welcomed, comfortable, and like he wants to stay
Well,
here
I mean,
to
I will
finish
say
out
this:
his career.
he's
Because-
always had a good. The things that they focused on with Aaron Rodgers, line, which they've always had a good line.
Sure, because Aaron Rodgers knows how to check into protections. Look at
It's not even just
offensive,
that. Think of the
because-
Pro
no, no, no.
Bowlers
Look
that
at-
they've
look
had
at-
in their
look
line.
At the Broncos. Look at the Broncos' offensive line when Peyton Manning was in versus when Brock Osweiler was in 2015. Brock Osweiler gets sacked like 17 times against the Raiders. Like Khalil Mack had a field day. Peyton Manning comes in and he doesn't get sacked once. That's a difference.
I get that, but what happened last year when what's his name went down? Bakhtiari went down. They were
David
like, well,
Bakhtiari. Yep.
line's fucked now. That was like their anchor, and you saw the line was fucked. They lost their anchor at the line, and they were just scrambling.
Right, and they
just
were
like KC.
And they were still
The one thing
and they,
that
but they were
they've
still,
always
they
had.
were they were still only one
Decent.
possession away from winning an NFC Championship, get to a Super Bowl.
I get it,
I'm not saying that you're wrong.
but I'm just saying what they focused on is line and defense.
I don't think they've even focused on line. I don't think they've focused on any of that. I don't think they've done anything except
Well, their
line their
line's
own
been-
pockets.
their line's
I think
been intact,
You know what I think?
continuity.
You know what I think the problem with the Green Bay Packers is? The Green Bay Packers don't have an owner. They don't have one guy singular to hold them accountable for his bottom line. Okay? The Broncos had Pat Bowlen for a long time, right? The Patriots got Robert Kraft. We all know who the Rooneys are and who the Maras are.
Mm-hmm.
We all know these names, right? Who's the owner of the Packers? We don't know. There's no one to hold them accountable. So when you have a MVP caliber quarterback, think about how blessed the Packers are. Since 1991, they've had two quarterbacks. Brett Favre and Aaron fucking Rodgers.
Was it 91? I thought it was 92.
It's going to be
93.
32 fucking years they've had two quarterbacks play for them. 16 for Favre,
Yes.
16 for Rodgers.
Yes. Well, no, it's less because
No, Favre was
No,
93.
it's 16 and 16. This was Aaron
Well,
Rodgers.
this is his 16th year, but it's
This
not
was-
his 16th year
No,
starting.
no, this was his 16th year with the Packers.
Yes, but he didn't start the
Yeah, he
first few
sat
years
for
was
2
there.
years.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that
He was still there.
Favre was there for 16 years.
Yep.
Rodgers has been there for 16 years. So for
Who was right before Favre though?
Tom, what was it? Start with an M.
Tom Selleck?
Nope.
The mustache. That's Mr. Baseball.
Broke his fucking ankle. Broke his ankle. And that
I
was
mean,
the only reason.
Jaws?
No, that was Philadelphia.
Oh god damn it! It wasn't McMahon.
I can't think of who it was before Favre.
Tom or Tim. Tom something.
Tom Slaney.
Nope. Give me a minute. It'll come to me.
Where did Favre come from before he was a Packer?
ATL. Jerry Glanville. Brett Favre.
I don't even know how to say his name. We drafted him.
All right.
We
all
like
right,
this guy.
Or as Jerry Glanville so affectionately called him, Mississippi. So But the Packers have fucking screwed the pooch on this a hundred ways to Sunday. All right, Brian Gutekunst has fucked this situation up so bad. All you had to do last year, like, why did you decide to trade up and take Aaron Rodgers' eventual replacement and not even have the courtesy, not saying you had to run it by him and make sure he was okay, just have the courtesy to be like, hey, Aaron, just want to let you know, this is what we're thinking. Just don't be surprised. Don't worry. Everything's cool. We just want to run it by, make sure that, so that you don't look like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? It's like cheating on your wife. Like, if you and your wife, say you and your wife have like one of those open relationships,
okay,
like,
sure.
Real fancy, like in France. And, you get to go out and, the only rule is like, okay, you can go do whatever you want. You got a hall pass, go have sex with whoever you want. Just let me know first so that I'm not caught off guard and I don't get, confronted in the grocery store in the milk aisle and be like, hey, what's up? I fucked your man, bitch.
Like, and
I know he did because I told him he could.
As she's putting the milk in the carriage, okay.
Yeah. So
whatever.
But to get caught with your pants around your ankles,
I fucked your man.
it's a little bit different. Like, what? And then you get all mad, and it's like, ha-ha. And now it's like, well, yeah, you said we had a hall pass. Yeah, but you were supposed to tell me, but you didn't. It's that little of courtesy. Like, that just little fucking boop. Hey, this is what I'm going to do. Hey, I'm going to go meet up with so-and-so for drinks,
Sean.
and, we're going to bump some uglies later. Okay, hall pass. Go ahead.
You can't just go boop. You got to do it. You can't just go boop.
What?
You got to do the Dominique Foxworth.
Come on, do it.
Boop, boop. Oh, beep, boop, beep, boop.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Yeah. He got fired off ESPN. He's like, I don't give a shit. I don't need this job. Beep, boop, beep, boop.
Yeah. So that's all the Packers had to do.
No, here's the one thing that I don't understand, and like you and I talked about it on Thursday when we were doing it.
Okay.
We all saw the bullshit Niners offer a third pick of the draft for Aaron Rodgers.
That was totally fake.
But like I said at that night, if you're the Niners, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, but they didn't.
But why not?
But the Niners apparently already had to set in stone what they wanted to do.
Because allegedly John Lynch called and Brian Gutekunst and Peter LaFleur.
Watch it, LaFleur.
We're like, nope, not even if it's don't. Why are you even calling us? This isn't happening.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently A-Rod had left the Packers in the dark as much as they had left him in the dark and decided to return the favor. And that's where this comes from, because I don't think if you're the Niners,
why would you not jump on something? And
the third overall pick is available, and it's like Aaron Rodgers,
and you get Jimmy.
But if you're the Niners, though, and we'll get into this in a second from a Broncos standpoint, because obviously,
we're talking about my Niners now.
Because the obvious landing or the favored landing place
spot,
for Rodgers right now is Denver.
Before draft, I was all in. I was like, dude, yeah, the Niners should get him. Like, go for it, do it.
They should, but if you're the Niners and you think, okay, Trey Lance, okay, we got him, we get him, and he's great for 15 years. Do we do that, or do we take a flyer on Aaron Rodgers and hope he's good for the next 4? Because he is 37.
I'd still probably go with Rodgers.
I'm going to be honest with you. I want the sure thing. I want Rodgers, and then I want to bank on possibly getting someone else that I could train under him. But no, I have 4 solid seasons of competitiveness.
Well, I'm 1,000%.
You got to think of the offense.
Yeah.
Think of the offense that Shanahan would build around Rodgers.
Like yes, exactly.
Like they already have all the weapons that they need. They already have more weapons than he's ever had in his life. And then you get Shanahan.
Think about the offense that anybody would build around.
Let's kind of
yeah, but I'm saying like look what Jimmy G did for San Francisco. It would be the opposite. Instead of run, throw the ball, I'd be like, hey, we're gonna throw the ball all the time and mix in a run.
Jimmy G, as much as I want to shit talk him, he still was efficient when he was in the game with.
He was extremely efficient.
Absolutely,
he's top 7 in every quarterback category.
That one playoff game where he completed 7 passes or whatever.
The Super Bowl.
No,
the Super Bowl was 11.
Wasn't he like? No, he was like 7 for 11 or something.
7 for 11.
And it went in like a playoff game. You're like, wait. That was the NFC Championship.
Yeah, they ran for like 260 yards.
Against the Vikings.
It was the divisional.
Let's circle the wagons back. Let's get back to where we were going with this. So, San Francisco, that deal was proven fake.
Right.
Now, the reason why I want to bring this up is because Vegas, I always refer back to Vegas. Vegas knows first. Sunday night, the Denver Broncos were 66-1 odds to win the division.
Which I still think I'm still mildly insulted by, because
66-1.
Even with
mildly insulted,
even with Drew Lock, I still think we're better than 66-1.
You heard Denver Broncos.
The Chiefs were going to win your division.
Yeah, but 66-1, that's It's disrespectful.
No, it's not disrespectful. It's saying, hey, you play with Kansas City. Sorry, you're not going to win the division.
It's disrespecting one of the top 3 or 4 best rosters in the league. But anyway.
Monday afternoon.
Minus the biggest part that they need.
Hold on. Monday afternoon, they jumped to 4-1 odds. 4-1.
And no other team changed anything. No player trades
Not
have
in that
happened.
division.
Nothing
Not
happened.
in that division.
They were like, all right, the Raiders died.
That is a huge indicator that someone in the know in the sports world saying, hold up, news is coming. Let's prep for this because we don't want to get caught with our pants down and lose out on tons of money. Because Vegas never loses. No matter what sportsbook you go to, they win hand over fist regardless.
If they lose, it's just for the moment.
Regardless of all you people out there, I broke it, I made all these fucking deals. No, Vegas is always insulting someone out there, whether it's you, your mother, your father, whoever it is, they always beat somebody.
Absolutely.
That's how they keep their money.
Vegas is undefeated, actually.
Or they'll straight up kill someone that you know. They'll be like, well, you don't owe you no money anymore because you dead. So...
Oh, wait, this machine's losing money? Guess we'll just pull the plug.
Unplug it.
on the person's life support.
Yeah.
The guy's dying there.
Oops. Yeah, no, Pat, I'm not saying it wasn't Kansas's division to lose. I'm just saying Kansas, it's disrespectful to the Broncos to put them at 66-1.
Negative. I think it's accurate.
I think like 40-1 would be more.
The Chargers would have a better record than you guys
Get
this
the
year.
fuck out of here.
If you had Drew Lock and not Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my God, we split with the Chargers last year.
Give
and
the Drew Lock talk a 30-second pause, and let's talk about Rodgers for a goddamn second.
Hey, Rodgers!
Regardless, I don't give a shit that the Broncos just traded for what's his face, Teddy Bridgewater. Means absolutely nothing.
Means nothing.
Rodgers,
nothing.
You know,
Rodgers available.
You want to know what Teddy Bridgewater is? Exactly what he was in New Orleans. Hey, if he gets hurt, you're going to play.
There you go. So here we go. What do you, if you're the Denver Broncos, what do you give up? And apparently, the Denver Broncos are willing to give it all. Whether that means they're going to give
Drew
up.
Lock, next year's first.
Who cares about Drew Lock? Drew Lock's
a throw into this.
He's the toss-in.
Well, the Packers wouldn't want Drew Lock anyway. They already have their first-round
You
pick
need
in
a
Jordan
fucking
Love.
backup.
We've all seen Moneyball with Brad Pitt.
You mean the backup that already beat out their current first-round pick? They probably just stick with the guy they already know.
We've all seen Brad Pitt in Moneyball. You got Aaron Rodgers, a bunch of other quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater, 50 feet of shit, Drew Lock.
Listen,
Drew Lock's value couldn't be lower right now.
Yeah, for real.
his value is shit. However,
Joey's like, but that's still my quarterback,
so
man.
we'll get in.
Give me your best TO. Come on, let me see that bottom lip quiver. It's my teammate. It's
quarterback.
my quarterback.
Listen, Teddy Bridgewater coming into Denver, like Sean said, changes nothing about this deal.
Of course
Teddy
it does.
Bridgewater, just to preface this real quick, Teddy Bridgewater, from a Broncos standpoint, if they don't land Aaron Rodgers, Bridgewater is the guy that is there who is just good enough to be able to beat Locke out for the starting job, but not good enough, not so good that when he walks in the door, he's
It's
automatically
his,
your starter. So that is the exact guy that the Broncos needed to bring in. I said it with so much about Cam Newton if he ended up being cut from the Patriots or not re-signed. I said he would be a great guy to come in, just good enough to maybe take the job, but not good enough where like,
But he's
you're
going to
like,
push.
oh boy,
He's going to push.
he's going to push him. Yeah. So now it's up to Drew Lock to either piss or get off the pot. That being said, with Aaron Rodgers now becoming available, everything goes out the window. We don't give a shit about Teddy Bridgewater. We don't care about Drew Lock. I don't really give a shit about either one of those guys if Aaron Rodgers is under center. If we have Aaron Rodgers, number 12, under center,
So
we're good with this.
Instantaneous Super Bowl contender.
hold on.
We are now right in the mix with Kansas City to win the AFC.
Before we get to Joey, what are you giving up for him, Sean?
If I'm the Broncos,
What's an
I'm
actual?
not a Broncos fan.
No, but what's an actual
So let me give
offer
you
that you
from what
well, no, because I know
hearing.
what you're gonna say probably exactly what it is because you're in the know. Him and I aren't. We're just sort of looking at it as like if it was my team, this is what I would give. So if you were the Broncos, what do you pick up the phone and offer?
my legitimate offer,
Yeah.
the next 2 first-round picks
Okay.
and the next 2 third-round picks.
Not enough.
Not enough.
It's not enough for Green
That's
Bay.
what I'm hoping.
And Drew Lock.
No players. No players. Let's not throw players in there. I'm not like
Sprinkle it in.
I'm going to disagree with you there because what I think it's going to take,
sprinkle it in.
The starting point for this deal, I think is going to be 3 first rounds, 3 firsts, and a player. And I think that player is going to be either Cortland Sutton or Tim Patrick.
I was gonna say what it's gonna be one of the wide
Tim
receivers.
Patrick would be nice because Tim Patrick I think has more upside because he hasn't had enough
Tim Patrick's
playing
got
time.
tremendous upside. Think about it. He dropped 0 balls last year. He's one of the I think he's the only receiver in the league who have been targeted 70 times and have 0 drops. He's 6'5". He's what's his name from Pittsburgh. The kid that got all the hype this year, the rookie.
Claypool.
Chase Claypool. He's basically Chase Claypool, but he's been doing this for like 2 years and just.
All right, but here's my thing though. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to go to a team that's already dropping offensive weapons for him.
No,
but
that's not true.
If you get rid of 3 first-round picks,
but Sutton, I don't think Sutton's
Patrick,
a move. I don't think Sutton's a move.
If they ask for him,
well,
they get him.
If you ask
Joey Fats Radio, row 1, seat 1.
Hey, Joey, what's up, guys?
What's up, buddy?
Oh, damn, it's a
Joey,
stink bug
they
just
had a
started crawling
great
out of the hole.
draft night show. That was awesome, guys. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah,
appreciate you, Pat.
I want to make sure that Keith and Sean get their props for that. That was actually a really fantastic watch. I watched 2 hours and 10 minutes of it?
Yeah, it was about that, yeah.
Almost 2.5 hours,
And I thoroughly enjoyed every single minute of it.
Appreciate you, Pat.
Yeah, no, I don't want to sit there and listen to stupid Mel Kiper all night. It was a fun show, guys. We had a fun night.
By the way, Mel Kiper, I don't know. I went back and actually read up some of his talking points while he was on air. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about at some point. He talked about some crazy shit like Zaven Collins going before Micah Parsons, and I was like, in what fucking world would that happen? Micah Parsons, I get has the off-field issues, but Zaven, come on,
you never know with the NFL draft. You never underestimate the stupid of one of the 32 GMs in the NFL.
But Pat, yes, thank you very much. We appreciate you watching and joining in on us, and I find that a lot of fun. I love doing that.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah.
It was other good fun last year and this year. Joey, I didn't wake up this morning to give you a hard time, but can I give you a point on Aaron Rodgers?
Sure.
Do you think and this not this is bad about the Broncos head coach, but do you think Rodgers would respect that guy? He hasn't respected his last 2 coaches.
I disagree. I don't think Rodgers' issue is with his head coaches.
I think he's a head case.
The report.
Well, I think his issues with his head coach right now.
If you listen to Aaron Rodgers he doesn't have any issue with. As a matter of fact, reports
except for 1 3rd down call.
Reports coming out of Green Bay are that LaFleur is reeling. LaFleur had this is like a horrifying moment for everyone within the Green Bay brass.
Wow.
He got along great with McCarthy. He got along great with LaFleur. There was all the.
McCarthy wanted out because of the front office.
And the only reason I know this is because I listened to the Pat McAfee show, and I listened to Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk, and he's a guest on Pat McAfee's show every Tuesday, I believe, Monday or Tuesday.
It's every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday during the season, he was a guest on the show. Listen, Aaron Rodgers. I don't have any. Listen, Aaron Rodgers is an asshole. I mean, he has his parents kicked out of games.
Yeah,
that's and don't get me wrong. That's weird to me. However, Aaron
What's his
Rodgers
name that plays golf. Remember that shit?
I don't know
anything.
I don't know anything about Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know his personal situation. Maybe his parents were total dickheads and they decided to be fucking assholes and he decided to shun him.
He hates his brother too.
And and that's fine. And whatever.
Apparently he hates every fiance he ever gets.
Also true. But look, my point is this. I don't care. Aaron Rodgers he'll come in and he's a consummate professional. That's the one, and that's all I care about. Will he come into Denver and respect Fangio and Shermer and do what he's going to do within that offense? Then that's all I need him to do.
Who could probably get in his head positively? Bet you fucking John Elway could and be like, hey, come here for 2 years, help us beat Kansas City, help us get to the Super Bowl.
Listen, if
and
John Elway...
Let's be honest right now. Tell me that if we've been watching that happen. No, get the fuck out of here. We've literally been watching that happen the whole entire time.
That's great.
But Aaron Rodgers absolutely would love to play in the West and go up against Pat Mahomes twice a year.
Which I think is a very overlooked part of this
deal. If you don't think
deal.
he would love to do that, he would relish at it. He'd be like, "Yep, I could beat this guy twice a year."
If A-Rod comes to Denver and we get Mahomes, Rodgers twice a year, that's a Sunday night and a Monday night game.
I was just going to say, it'd be a
Yep.
Sunday night game or a Monday night game, and then another.
I hate quoting LeVar Arrington because I think he absolutely knows nothing about anything in life because I think he has so much CTE that he's just brain dead. He said he talked to Russell Williams.
Who's brain dead?
Russell Wilson.
Russell Williams.
Wilson. Yeah, I'm the brain dead
He's
one.
a Thrillia minor.
He talked to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson wants to play with Oakland, which is already a fuck up.
Just so he could play
against
Pat Mahomes.
So he could play against Pat Mahomes. He wants to play against the
Could
Raiders.
you imagine if the division...
If the West turned into Mahomes, Rodgers, Wilson, and Herbert?
I mean...
It'll make John Gruden look
And
stupid.
Herbert being your weakest link?
Herbert punching a fucking table.
Why did I come to freaking San Diego?
I mean, think about it right now. If Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver, Derek Carr becomes the worst quarterback in the division.
By far.
Well, not by far. He's right there.
I mean,
neck and neck with
Herbert.
I mean, let's give...
I'm
just saying...
I'd take Herbert over Carr all day.
I've
Yeah,
already...
me too.
Only because I've already seen what Carr can do.
And we don't know.
Exactly.
We
And
don't
I'm
know how
looking
much
at
better
Her-
Herbert
I'm looking
can be.
at Herbert's ceiling, thinking might be higher.
Also, Herbert is just like, dude, you can beat the shit out of me. I'm still making this
But
pass.
on a
That- you know
on a
what?
good
That's a
day
good
though,
point.
Derek Carr is. I mean, he's an MVP candidate. So he's got that going for him. But
Black the aliens.
no, Pat, I would have no worries about Aaron Rodgers coming into
Okay.
Denver and having a beef with the coaching staff, or because if he thought that was going to be a problem, he wouldn't name Denver as his preferred place to be,
Not just that, but he'd just stay in Green Bay.
or allegedly.
Like you got to think about this. Wherever he ends up, he's immediately happy because he's not in
Yeah.
Green Bay.
But
That's fair.
But where is he going to maximize his happiness? Is it going to be Denver or is it going to be L.A.?
San Francisco.
Las Vegas.
Brady went to the fucking Bucks and was happy. The
Sounds like
fucking
New
Bucks
England.
and was happy.
No, it's past New England at this point.
Wow, really? No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
No way.
That's when they called
I
apparently.
know,
that
and
weekend.
Pat, you were on the phone when I called it a couple months ago when I said this time next year, Aaron Rodgers will be a New England Patriot. Talk about a fucking curveball, baby. I've never been
Nice.
I've never been happier to be wrong.
But then again,
here we
Sean
are.
thought it was going to be A-Rod, Odell, and a couple other guys.
No,
coming in.
listen, Odell's still a possibility, man.
Oh, here we go.
It's a,
Yeah.
Listen,
it's-
you've been trying to blow up this fire for 3 years now.
Dude,
I was right about Rodgers. I got the place wrong, but I was right.
if I'm Bill Belichick, I'm calling Atlanta right now. I'm being like, oh, listen,
Give me that
It has to
Julio
be-
guy.
It has to be
Julio.
past.
What
It
do you-
has to be past June 1st.
Give me
What do
that
you want?
Julio guy.
well, same thing with Aaron Rodgers. I think it's not going to take place until June 1st, but we'll get into that in a second.
Same
But,
thing with Odell.
Waddell?
Pat, what else did you have for us, buddy? I know you had another question.
Is there any chance, Joey, he could get stolen by the Saints?
Very.
They have
I don't.
no money.
I don't think so. Simply
They-
because I don't think they can make it work monetarily.
Well, they've already
Okay.
restructured 15 contracts.
yeah, I don't think they have.
I
any
don't think
more
they can
room
go
to-
anywhere else in litigation with that.
Yeah, as much as they would like to, I don't think they can afford it because Aaron Rodgers' contract is what $38 million this year.
37
Yeah, but
and
you
change.
don't have to worry about 27 of it.
I thought it was like 21 and a half. when
No,
we did
it's
it last
27.
week.
We talked about it on
Yes,
Thursday.
21.
It was 27 or something
No,
like that.
20. Yeah,
It's
21.
21 and a half.
It was 21 because it's 21 and a half. If he's
The
traded
dead
after
cap.
June 1st, it'd be 21. The Packers would owe 21 and a half this year, 17 next year.
Right.
But depending on how the trade works and what the language is, the Broncos could absorb the contract, and that would help. That would actually bring down the price
Well, the dead money wouldn't be as bad.
because the dead money for the Packers
Yep.
wouldn't hurt as bad. So
I think 3 firsts is too much.
I do too. I'd say if,
I just think that's going to
two.
be.
You're gonna do 2 firsts and 2/3, like you said.
I like that deal.
2
I think-
firsts,
I think
2/3.
that's
Oh,
very
I
fair.
love that deal. I don't think it's probably. I think it's going to be 2. I think it's going to be 3 firsts, a third, probably like a fifth, and then like a swapping of like the
Now,
fourth
see,
and the sixth.
again, and it goes
And then
back to the.
and,
but
and
it
that's
goes.
and then I think you might have to throw in a player too.
No, it's what you said to start off. 37-year-old quarterback. I'm not giving you more than 4 picks.
Right, but it's not
Yeah.
just your run of the mill. This isn't Carson Palmer
yeah, but
going
guess
to
what?
Arizona.
But they're
This is a guy that
Joey,
just
what do
won
we
the
always
MVP.
say? What do we always say? Just like Julio, just like all the other guys that want to be traded. Bro, your hand is shown. We know
Yeah.
he wants out. We know you guys aren't talking to each other.
You're right.
We don't have to give you 3 first-round fucking picks.
Belichick
What you
and
do
Jimmy
is
G.
you be a dickhead and you offer 1, 2 seconds, and 2/3.
But Rodgers is also offered to retire if he doesn't get traded.
True.
Correct.
Ouch.
So, but
Which hurts
so
the
now,
Packers-
So
which
if you're
hurts
the
the Packers
Packers,
more.
you'd be like, "Oh, you're gonna give me 4 picks? You're gonna give me 2 firsts and 2/3? Fucking give me it because I'm about to lose and still have to pay the bastard."
No, you're not wrong. I mean, I think the longer this draws out, the more it favors what the price is going to be. It favors the buyer.
Absolutely.
But at the same time,
I think
though,
even right now,
I think if
you
there's
can't.
But if there's a bidding war between Vegas and Denver, if the Raiders and the Broncos are bidding for his services,
Raiders are gonna
don't
get
be
him.
surprised if it takes 3 first round. No, I don't necessarily think that's true. Do you think Denver would be willing to give up more?
Yeah,
if the Raiders
don't
are
the
only-
Raiders still have a bunch of picks from all the deals they did?
But the Raiders don't have shit on offense. What do they got? They got fucking what's his name? The speedster from Alabama,
Riggs.
Riggs. That's it. That's really it, dude.
Ruggs.
Ruggs. Henry Ruggs.
watched
third.
him-
Joey,
watched him
I
play
heard the
Denver.
Raiders could offer a tight end, Carr, and first-round picks for Rodgers. I heard that today.
No. They would never give a
They're not going to give up Waller to get Rodgers
Waller's
because
their only
Rodgers
offensive
and,
piece.
and
Tight
Waller
end.
Right, because why
Carr
would you?
pick.
Because then you're robbing Peter to pay Paul at that point.
because Rodgers and Waller would light it up.
Okay.
Just the same way Fenton Rodgers would light it up. I mean, listen,
No, you're not wrong.
I'm just saying. I think there's a reason why Denver is the leader in the clubhouse right now. A, because they have the they have the best pieces to give up, right? Okay, if the Packers want a player and they want Tim Patrick or even say Cortland Sutton, hey, listen, they can make that work. And I'm not cool. I'm not going to be like thrilled that we gave up Cortland Sutton, but you've got Jerry Jeudy, you've got KJ Hamler, you've got Noah Fant, and then you usher in Tim Patrick. Was it Seth Williams, the kid they just drafted from Auburn, the one I sent you the most disrespectful touchdown reception of the year last year in college football?
You know what's the team that's kicking themselves in the ass right now? Indy.
Why Indy?
Oh,
Because
shit.
it was tight-lipped about Aaron Rodgers not, being available, not being available, whatever, all this shit went on, until after they traded for Carson Wentz.
That's too bad.
I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
No,
but
right. But think about this. Think if they
fair.
never traded for Wentz and all this shit came out with Rodgers. You don't think Indy would be all in on
Of
that?
course they would.
Big time.
But
And they'd have shit to give.
Indy was stupid, and
They're
Frank Wright
stacked.
was like, I know Carson. He's a
But
good
do
person.
you think
I get it, but if you don't know that you can get an Aaron Rodgers or that type of a quarterback, you're gonna go for the next best thing.
At the same time, though, it's not necessarily. It's not a shoe because who's to say that the Colts would have wanted to give up the price to get Aaron Rodgers when they know that they've got 4 or 5 or 6 significant guys coming up in the next 2 to 3 years or 1 to 3 years that they're going to need to re-sign, pay, and have on under contract. You know what I mean? You're talking about Quentin Nelson. You're talking about I believe Buckner's deal's up. I think the
Leonard's would be coming
the
up.
Maniacs deal is going to be up soon. There's a lot of guys that Indy's going to have to pay, and that's why they didn't go out and spend in free agency because they were like, no, we got to pay our own guys. That being said, no, I don't think Indy takes. Listen, yeah, it might suck, but you got Carson Wentz. If you believed in Carson Wentz enough to sign him back and get him back in March,
I sure should.
then you believe.
We know, Sean. You also don't believe in Josh Allen. So
You
don't
know,
even fucking
yeah.
get
I mean,
started.
hindsight's 2020. Well, if we knew Aaron Rodgers was going to become available, we would never got Carson Wentz. Yeah, well, no fucking shit. If you knew Aaron Rodgers was going to fall to 25, you wouldn't have drafted him. Like whatever. But my point is this: the Broncos, the Raiders, right now are the only 2 teams that are being mentioned.
Right.
There's always a dark horse out there somewhere, and you got to be.
Who's the dark horse?
Mindful of that. Right now, I mean,
Houston Texans.
you just don't know.
You know, I was thinking that.
No,
I was honestly
Watson
thinking that, but
because Rodgers isn't going to go there.
Dude, I know. They're holding the sign out in front. We'll trade Watson for
No,
anything.
you gotta look at teams that Rodgers would realistically go to. Like I could see
honestly,
if
If-
Dave Gettleman wasn't such a fucking idiot, I could absolutely see the Giants being in on Aaron Rodgers.
He's not
Oh,
that
I
good.
heard that. Yeah.
You know,
Maybe
honest-
Giants.
what would have been a good landing
I'm
spot.
sorry,
for him?
not Gettleman.
Something like that. I think
Yeah, it
something
is
like
Gettleman.
that. The
Yeah,
Giants.
it's
It is
No,
Gettleman.
Gettleman went to North Carolina, didn't he?
no, he
It's
came from
Gettleman.
Carolina.
Yeah. Gettleman.
I'm flipping flopping those. Oh,
Yeah,
my
Jesus
bad.
Christ, why are you confusing the shit out of me?
Yeah, no, yeah, you're
Gettleman's
right.
a fucking moron. Because
Honestly-
Gettleman came out and said on the record the other day when they asked him about, hey, Aaron Rodgers being available, this, that, the other thing. You know what he said? It's none of my business. Excuse me, sir. If I was a Giants fan and I heard that, I would be livid because I'd be like, that is exactly your business, you fucking
Isn't
asshole.
that what you're paid to do?
Nope.
See, for me, the team that would have benefited the most, which just made a blockbuster deal and got a quarterback, was the Rams.
Oh shit.
If the
Yeah.
Rams didn't do the Stafford deal and all, like again, I know it's later.
I don't know that the
But-
Rams would have been able to absorb the contract though. That's
they
the
could.
tricky
You
part.
know,
They could.
Joey.
I don't
Stafford's not, dude. Stafford makes more than Rodgers.
No, I don't. Not this year.
No,
I
he
don't,
not
no,
this year.
I don't think. I don't
I
think
don't
that
know.
$38 million
Take the salary
price
cap
tag on
work,
Rodgers,
Belichick
I think,
said.
was the killer.
Dude,
All right.
but Stafford's like 34,
Who's manipulated?
35, man. He's not
I think
cheap.
I think it was low 30. I think it was 31 or
I think,
32.
yeah, I think he's 32. Listen, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say McVay and Rodgers I don't think would get along.
What, two
Well-
smart guys together?
I think that Rodgers would find McVay annoying.
Maybe.
McVay would be frustrated by Rodgers' lack of cooperation.
Wonder who's older? Probably Rodgers.
Rodgers is definitely older.
No, it's McVay.
No, Rodgers is
McVay
older.
just turned 38.
Probably Rodgers.
Oh, I thought he just turned 36.
Okay.
I think he went to the Super Bowl at 37.
That's
and that was
all right.
that was 2 or 3
Okay,
years ago.
right.
I think McVay is 38, 39 now. But he's still 30.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still under 40, and he's still got arguably the hottest girlfriend in the entire NFL.
I think it's his wife now.
As it, as
they
it
get
should
married?
be. As it should be.
I mean, he should. He should.
Just Google it. Just to
He
check.
should have. He
Just
should have
to
put. He
check.
should put a ring on that. But no,
His
Pat. I
Beyonce
think
in the background.
it's gonna be wild, Pat. In a couple of weeks, when I will have been dead wrong about where Aaron Rodgers will be
Week
playing
of the
next year,
strong.
and I will be so dead wrong
Got
that I will be so
going
fucking elated
You did
um,
wrong.
that the Denver Broncos are going to have Aaron Rodgers under center opening day.
It's fun. Maybe because I know Joey so well. It's fun when the Denver Broncos are more competitive. Because actually,
I was going to say that.
there's a lot of Broncos fans in our area.
The Broncos, NFC's better when the Broncos are good. I miss hating the Broncos and Peyton Manning. I miss that as a sports fan.
Well, I miss hating any team that any great quarterback is on. Like I hated the Colts when Peyton Manning was on because it was fucking Peyton Manning. He was great. So, like, when those guys did retire, like, I love Peyton Manning now because I never have to face him.
I don't have to lose to him anymore.
Like now I have, like, a different hatred. I have, like, go-away hate with Josh Allen. Everyone's like, oh, Josh Allen, look at that throw. It's so crisp. I'm like, fuck these people. These people are clowns. Like, 2 years ago, they were like, this dude's dog shit.
But 2 years ago, when I was like, bro, this dude looks like he could be something. And you're like, nah, man, he sucks. And I'm like, I don't know, man. You watch him. Like, when you actually watch him, dude's got a rocket of an arm.
Nah, Josh
Dude can
Allen
move the
always
fucking
had the
pocket,
potential.
and he can escape you.
Yes, Josh
When
Allen.
he's faster than your linebacker and the
Big
guys that are
bitch.
running at him, if there's nobody open, he can tuck it down and take out your linebacker. I'm all right with that.
I got concussed doing that last year or 2 years ago. So.
And they said, fuck off, slide. He said, okay.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for proving my point. Big doofus. Okay.
Big doofus with a big-ass arm and fucking legs that'll make you turn.
We'll see.
Listen, I'm all in on Josh Allen.
I'm a big Josh Allen
I love
fan,
Josh
so.
Allen. You and I have been saying it for the past 2 years. I'm like, dude, this kid's going to do something.
Unfortunately, Sean's dead ass wrong on
can't
this.
wait.
The only thing that's good for Sean is that the
They're
Patriots
wrong.
did something in order to help compete with
This
the
is
Bills
true.
within the division now.
Actually, we're going to get into that, but I know we're going to probably have to let go of Pat. Pat, I just want to ask you,
Let you go.
Did you hear about the Saints trying to trade up right before the Patriots picked on Thursday?
I didn't know that.
Okay.
I figured they were going to get like a Garoppolo or wait for a veteran. I didn't know they were going to trade up and try to get a Mac
Okay,
Jones.
so I'm not going to bury the lead. Pat, stay tuned, and we'll get into it while we're talking about the Patriots and the draft picks, and I'll fill you in on that draft pick that almost happened by the Saints.
Awesome, boys. Hey, thank you guys. Have a good night. I'll be
Later,
listening.
Pat.
Pat, thank you, brother.
Pat, shake it easy.
Later, buddies.
So, good call from Pat.
Always.
Always good.
Brings up a lot of good points, though. You know, the point he brought up about A-Rod getting along with the coaching staff and having respect for Fangio. Listen, Fangio's been in this league a long fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the respect to that locker room. He's a defensive guy. It's more the Pat Shermer-led offense that I think he's going to need to.
If anything, Fangio getting Rodgers goes, I can just worry about defense now.
I'm telling you right now, and look, we talk a lot about the Broncos on the show, obviously, because I'm a Broncos fan, so it comes up a lot. But when you look at the Broncos roster, all right, 2 through 53, that is a top 5 or 6 roster in the NFL right now.
Good
When
young
you look
roster.
at Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, Big Shelby on the line, Jarrell Casey, you got Ronald. They just signed Darby from Washington. They get Kyle Fuller. They draft Surtain.
Fuller's
They
a big
re-sign
one.
Justin Simmons.
Fuller's a big one.
That secondary, that defense going into next year, like that defense is going to be disgusting next year, regardless of who's under center. How good it's going to be is going to be dictated by who's under center next year. Because
How
if
much
it's
time they're on the field.
if it's Aaron Rodgers is getting 3 or 4 extra possessions a game based off of that defense every single week. Whether it's 3 and outs, turnovers, whatever. That defense is going to be grossly gross. Sorry, I lost it.
Oh, okay.
Gross.
Me and Sean are like,
Gross.
poi? You going to play with your poi?
It's gonna be. They're gonna be nasty. Okay. Then they go out and you look at the offensive side of the ball right now as it sits. We've talked about the receivers: Sutton, Judy, Hamler, Patrick. You've got Seth Williams, the kid from Auburn. Then they go out and they move up in the second round to draft Williams, the running back out of North Carolina,
Good pick.
who, in
Big
my
bruiser.
opinion, was the best running back in the draft. I think Najee Harris and him were kind of like 1-1,
I don't mind
1
Etienne.
and 1A.
I like Etienne. Etienne was.
But
he was my
Etienne, I
back
think
horse.
it's going to be terrible because he's going to Jacksonville.
With
Actually,
Trevor Lawrence.
I actually don't think that's bad.
You know what's a fun fact?
He's with his boy.
Fun fact, Trevor Lawrence has had more first-round draft picks spent on his supporting cast than Aaron Rodgers has.
True story.
Very true story.
It took 2 hours.
Think about that for 1 second. Let that one just click with you real quick. Trevor Lawrence. The Jacksonville Jaguars have spent more first-round picks to help out Trevor Lawrence than the Green Bay Packers have spent to help out Aaron Rodgers.
By the way, really small segue, and I don't want to get into it much other than this. Trevor Lawrence, beautiful signature.
Yes.
Blown away by the kid's signature. Everyone today is like, Initials FK. Him, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, he's like old school.
Yeah.
It matches his hair.
Well, listen, he's just going
Beautiful.
back to that
Flowing.
sunshine mentality.
It
you know
is.
what I'm
It's
saying?
beautiful.
Beautiful, flowing, and sunny.
It's like so quisp. The signature.
I'm crispy.
You can make out
I'm
every.
so crispy.
Tori, listen. We mentioned it before, but that Broncos secondary is going to be disgusting. Pat Surtain, to me, was the best defensive player in the draft.
I like J.C. Horn better.
J.C. Horn's a better.
J.C. Horn might be
It was
better
more
overall.
of a. I think it's a more scheme
A better
fit.
fit.
It's a better fit. Surtain, I think, can do anything. Horn is more of an up-in-your-face man, like kind of lockdown guy.
They both take after their dads
Yeah.
in
And-
so many ways.
Yeah, right. J.C. Horn, for those who don't know, Joe Horn was his dad.
Did you
Joe
see-
Horn,
did you
Mr.
see
whips
Joe
out the
Horn
cell phone and
go off
Joe Horn,
on Aaron Rodgers?
about
No,
about the
furious.
coverage for his son
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers
because Aaron Rodgers dominated
Yeah.
the coverage. Yeah,
He dominated that line.
he was like, my boy got picked, and there was no camera, there was no nothing. They
Listen,
didn't-
I
they
like
didn't
J.C.
spend
Horn a lot.
nothing on
I
it.
think he's fun. I think he's going to be a tremendous player, and I think Carolina absolutely nailed a home run on that one.
and the Cowboys did not know you had interest in Surtain or Surtain.
Yeah, because they were going for him.
That was-
They were going
devastated.
for him.
They were like, "Fuck it, we're
Well, I
trading
guess
know
we
what
gotta
this
get.
does?
I guess we gotta get
This-
Parsons now.
This fills the void for me for when the Broncos didn't draft Patrick Peterson in 2011. They took Von Miller instead. I wanted Patrick Peterson. I was a big Patrick Peterson
Well,
guy.
Pat Peterson coming out was huge.
Yeah, I know, and he was, dude.
I mean, he was great.
and he
He's
lived
been
up.
great.
He lived up to the hype every single year.
Up
He's
until
great,
like this year
been
when he
great,
lost like 4
is
steps.
great. Von Miller. I mean, I can't really be upset about that pick. It was, just Super Bowl MVP, bro.
I feel like bloodline.
I think we did okay.
Yeah, I think bloodline picks. I always feel more confident with bloodline.
Well, look at
picks.
Winfield Jr.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Nasty.
He was a second round pick, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's too bulky." He fucking
Hey,
dominated.
just like they said, Antoine Winfield, he's just too small to play cornerback. And
Yeah.
then you're like, 26 years later, he's still in the fucking league.
Yeah,
He
and then,
went from
dude,
Buffalo to
he
Minnesota and
hugged
just
his dad in the
crushed
Super
it.
Bowl on the field, and he was like, "Come here, little guy," and like hugged his father, like Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
He's a mountain
Like,
of a man.
how did you make that?
Same thing. I'm like, oh
Is
my
your
god.
is your mom China?
I married a tall wife.
China.
But no, so let's get into the draft a little bit because obviously we want to
So-
talk a lot about the Patriots, but let's talk about the first couple picks first. The first 3 picks I think went mostly
No,
the way everybody thought.
I really didn't think we were going
Well,
Lance.
We went Trevor Jones,
Trevor
Trevor
Lawrence.
Jones.
Jesus Christ, the kid
Wilson?
from Oregon, Wilson, Zach
Zach
Wilson,
Wilson.
Zach Wilson, and then Trey Lance.
and then Trey Lance.
I honestly
Trey Lance,
thought.
Mac Jones was like the one part where you were like,
Well, and we were
which
talking
way
about it
to
on
flip the coin?
Thursday, and the Niners were like Jones. We love Jones. I thought they were doing that to take Fields.
Well, it came out. We
I
talked about
honest-
it
yeah,
on Thursday.
I honestly thought, in my heart of hearts, that they were going to take Fields.
We talked about it on Thursday that in the last 48 hours before Thursday, from Tuesday to Thursday morning, the real plans had come out that it's been Trey Lance all along. They were just throwing out smoke signals to kind
Right.
of fuck with teams.
But I honestly thought they were going to go for Justin Fields.
I
I
no, they said never was a consideration. They never went to his pro days. They never went to his scouting combines, and it was true. It they did go to Trey
his
Lance's
Scotting combines.
Scouting. I can't
It's a
speak today.
Scottish. I know.
You're all over the
I'm
place.
having a.
I'm
I gotta
stuttering.
shake the rust off. It's
Scotland
been 2
Yard.
weeks. It's been 2 weeks.
Scotland Yard.
So that was the first time where I said my pick 2. I said, you know what? I think it is Trey Lance. I think they were blowing smoke. There's too much of the lifting of the smoke to still be Mac Jones. And they also heard a lot of the feedback from fans.
Oh, yeah.
They've been told for 3 weeks it's Mac Jones, and the outrage was, the fat white kid!
Well,
like, people
I mean,
lost their mind.
Don't we already have Jimmy G?
Max Kellerman basically was like, "Listen, San Fran,
That's racist.
if you draft Mac Jones, what do you say? What do you say? And quote, my antennas up." Because the San Francisco 49ers were allegedly preferring Mac Jones to Trey Lance. And he was like, my antenna's up. I don't know. This is probably racist because, Max Kellerman has become just a fucking hack. He's not an analyst.
They
He's
have
nobody
nothing.
anymore. I mean, if anybody still thinks Max Kellerman is worth his weight in anything after
Just
the whole
boxing.
quiff,
Oh,
quiff,
he's great
Just
with
boxing.
boxing.
Boxing, he knows
He's a
everything.
genius when it
maybe
comes
he
to
should just
boxing.
definitely
Yeah,
stick
he
to
should.
boxing.
He
man.
should, because when he does just boxing,
Oh, dude.
he is so
Like the
eloquent.
things that he
he's
points
smart.
out, I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah,
I
he's
never
great
would
with
have
I
seen
know
that.
he was a big boxing guy, and
Huge.
It still is.
And
Huge.
I know that, but I mean, he's
Terrible rapper.
all he is on whatever what is
First
take.
Take.
First
Is it
Take,
Take?
yeah.
All he is just another like
Talking
LeBron
head.
James race baiting,
Oh, which we'll
talking
get,
head.
we'll get
Yes.
to LeBron James.
Yeah, we'll get
after.
to LeBron and his race.
So
baiting
for
a
me,
little bit.
like with the third pick, I mean, Lance does check the boxes for the 49ers. But North Dakota State. Like, that's your number 3 pick.
Didn't Josh Allen go to North Dakota State?
Trey Lance.
I thought he was Wyoming.
Not white. Check.
Where did
I thought Josh
Okay,
Allen was
good.
Wyoming.
Okay, good. We got
Was
Max.
he Wyoming?
Max
I thought
Kellerman's
so.
not going to kill us.
I could be
All right,
wrong,
sweet.
but I thought he was Wyoming.
So, yes.
But, like, I mean, Trey Lance, what is he at? 20 games under his belt?
Very true.
18 games
Keith,
under his belt?
Didn't Trey Lance have the most in-game experience of? Oh no, it was
No.
Mond.
No, you're right.
Kellen Mond had the most game experience of anybody drafted on Sunday. I mean, in the
No. Sunshine. Sunshine
okay,
was a
outside
true
of
freshman.
Sunshine because
Yeah.
Zach Wilson.
Zach
Trey
Wilson
Lance-
only had 2 years. Trey Lance had 18 games.
I'm saying for this past year.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, for this past
For this
year.
past year,
You mean
this
like
past
for the
season.
COVID year.
I'm fairly certain Kellen Mond played the most games out of anybody.
Probably.
Probably.
Because-
Sunshine had 3 games off.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
he got hurt and then COVID, whatever else.
which is just kind of one of those weird things. I mean, it was because of the.
But I mean, the thing with
pandemic,
Trey
but-
Lance, here's the good things you can say about Trey Lance. He didn't throw a pick.
Dude, not only that, when you watch him throw, he has terrible mechanics. Like, he doesn't
Awful
use
mechanics.
He doesn't use his lower body
No,
to
it's
throw the
all
ball.
arm.
His arm is unbelievable. And he flicks his wrist and that ball is gone.
It's almost like Vic-esque.
It's
The Vic arm
unbelievable
motion.
talent. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's unbelievable. I would have, if Trey Lance was still there, I would have taken Trey Lance in a heartbeat.
I'm intrigued by Trey Lance.
Well,
I
I'm
really
interested
am.
to see what they do with him. If he's going to start right away,
No,
if
he's
they're
not.
gonna, if they're going to have the Jimmy G year, like
Well, the Jimmy G thing is funny because Jimmy G is basically a lame duck quarterback at this point.
yeah.
Yep, and
They
they asked
know
him about it today.
Damn well that he's not their guy. They don't care about him, and they're
Nobody's going to give you anything for him.
yeah. He's going to hit the streets, and where's he going to go?
New England.
Not here
Houston?
anymore. No, not anymore. Houston's a good bet because Nick Caserio, and it's like a Patriots derivative.
Yeah, it's my only. I mean, maybe that, or maybe he goes over to like Tennessee to be a backup with Mike Vrabel, or
Detroit.
maybe down to Miami to be a backup. I mean, I don't know. The only thing is with Miami is like you got a young quarterback, so I don't think you really want to bring that circus to town.
All right, I don't know
You
what's
know
going
where
on with Miami.
you know where I could see him end up? Honestly, Minnesota.
No, they just drafted Kellen Mond.
I don't think Kellen Mond.
No, they're not. They're not. Minnesota's not bringing him in.
That's what I say.
I like Kellen Mond.
Big arm, nothing much else.
But I think it's a perfect situation for him because he gets to sit. Kirk Cousins has 2 years left
Yeah,
on his
he's got 2
contract.
years left.
He's going to sit for 2 years behind Cousins and get groomed. I think it's actually a perfect situation for Mon, and it gives the Vikings enough time to
look at
actually
him.
look at him and see and be like, okay, this isn't what we need. We need something else but we still have time with Cousins. That being said, I think Detroit would be a good place for Jimmy G.
Yeah, but they got Goff.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, go with
They
Goff.
got Goff. They
Yeah, but
got
you-
Goff.
Goff will be done in a
Yeah,
year.
but they have him for what? 2 years signed.
Yeah, but what do
right?
you?
cares?
But who do you bring in? I mean, look, we all know the Lions are going to be trash this year
What about the Bears?
because that's what they are every year. No, they
The
just
Lions'
drafted
reaction.
Justin Fields.
The Lions' reaction in the draft room over drafting a player.
Oh my
was-
God, we
was
were talking about they were all
embarrassing.
jumping up and down, partying,
Men
hugging. Like,
were kissing in the
yeah,
mouth.
legit in the mouth. Give me that mouth.
It was all about drafting Sewell.
Look, which don't get me twisted. That's the best offensive lineman in the draft.
Who's he protecting though? Who gives
Doesn't
a shit?
matter. It doesn't matter. You get the
play
best
action
offensive
king.
line. You get the best offensive lineman in the draft. You take the best available if you're Detroit.
And
Like,
he was
right?
the best
When you're-
offensive
when
lineman
you're
in
a
the draft.
shit
He
team,
was.
and you let the draft come to you, you take the best available.
You just need players.
Well,
at this
and
point.
it's like what I said on Thursday. Detroit is going to turn into a running team again. They're going back to the running game.
Well, can't
Sewell,
wait to talk about my team.
Sewell is a guy that is a run blocker.
We drafted a
His pass
260-pound
blocking's
running back.
his pass blocking's but
Belichick ain't
when it
fucking
comes to
around.
like run blocking and being a lead blocker, the dude's got it.
Yeah.
So if you're running Swift, Johnson, and AP still, which I still can't believe AP is going to be running.
Got your kneecaps.
Because they biting on the way up, let me tell you.
No, Peterson's not coming back.
Yeah.
He wants to play for somebody else. He's a free agent. They didn't sign him again.
Oh, I
AP,
thought he was going,
AP is a
I
free
thought he was
agent.
going back to Detroit.
he says he wants to go to a contender, and everyone's just like,
I take him as the third running back in Denver right now.
Why wouldn't you?
I'd take him in New
People
England.
are still
Come on.
taking
course you
Frank.
would.
Look, people are still taking Frank Gore. Put the two of them side by side.
Frank
AP's
Gore-
wrecking
No,
that.
you.
Frank Gore has quietly had one of the most majestic careers of any running back to ever
I thought
do it.
Keith was going somewhere totally different with put Frank Gore and AP side by side. I'm like, don't you dare.
So we're not giving Joey that kind
All
of
right,
that kind
all
of
we're
thing.
gonna need like a 4-inch ruler, and we're only going from the knee.
But I'm saying,
up.
but if you put them, if
Only
you,
gonna need
if
a
you did a
4-inch ruler.
listen, if you did a combine right
worst.
now with those two old MFs,
Yeah.
AP would smoke Frank Gore.
AP would smoke most people.
I mean, maybe, but maybe physically like in a combine, but on
I
the
just
field,
said in the
though,
combine.
AP would
Frank
beat me in a
Gore-
race on his knees.
Frank Gore is not. Frank Gore hasn't really he's shown he can still do it on
Listen,
the
I'm
field.
not saying
dude.
Frank Gore is a piece of shit. That's not what I'm saying.
I didn't
No,
say
I
you
know.
What
did.
I'm saying is, for the two old men that run in the league still, because they probably are the two oldest running backs in the league, AP can still run like a 30-year-old, not a 36-year-old.
Right, but
You get what I'm saying?
But, okay.
Whereas Frank Gore's running
All right.
more like the 40-year-old Keith Byers at this
All right,
point.
all right. Where are we going with this right now?
We're talking about old running.
We're debating which geriatric running back is actually going to be more productive.
You wouldn't take AP in your team?
I just said I would take him
You
as
would
a
take AP
third.
in your
Yeah, on
team?
a veteran
Yeah, I said
minimum.
yes.
Sure,
yeah,
why
you're
not?
going to take him as the third, and then all
Do
of a
I
sudden,
expect him to make it out of training
listen,
camp? No.
Yeah, you're going to take him as the third running back. By week 6, he's your starter, and you're like, wow, how the fuck that
No,
happened?
not this year.
No, not happening. Not with
Everybody
Melvin.
said that in Washington. My
No,
boy came
Melvin
out and ran for
Gordon.
1,000 yards. Everybody
That's
said that in
totally
Detroit, and he came out and put up 800 yards. I mean,
That was not
Yes,
that much.
and those were two very bad football teams. That tells you.
that also had 3 running backs ahead of him.
That also
Just
tells,
making
but
my
that
point.
tells you all you need to know. They were bad, yes, because they were bad football teams.
I think
the
what
reason
Keith-
they're bad football teams is because they're poor evaluators of talent.
I-
And then the ancient Adrian Peterson's able to come in and be like, I can do this better.
I think what Keith's saying is Adrian Peterson is Tanya Harding, his other teammates. When the guys are slipping coming out of the shower, he's like, "Bitch, you fell down. Look, I'm gonna go tell coach.
It's like that
Can't play
scene.
for 3 weeks."
It's like
You
that
broke
scene-
your butt cheek.
It's like that scene in Blood versus Bone or whatever, or Blood and Bone. That dude, and he's like, Kimbo Slice comes in the bathroom, like in jail.
my God.
And the guy's just like, wet towel to the eye. Ka-ta, ka-ta, ka, shank, boom, ba, ba, ba. Anybody want to fuck with me? Tell them don't. And it's just like, all right.
Damn.
It's the end of the movie. That was the opening scene of the movie, and then also the best scene of the movie. So you don't need to watch Blood and Bone. It was just okay. I watched it all night. I watched it one night.
Watched it all night on repeat, and I didn't.
And it was just okay. It was just okay. The opening shower scene in the prison is the best part. But anyway,
So draft.
to the draft.
Yep.
So the first 3 picks went basically as we
predicted.
Expected. The next couple picks went as expected. The Panthers.
No, not the Bengals. The Bengals, I think, fucked up royally as usual.
They went with the receiver.
They got Joe
They
Burrow, his
reunited
boy.
Joe Burrow with his boy. Dude.
They
Like,
literally, I know, but they literally
they could have
just showed
taken-
a picture of Joe Burrow's knee, and his
Yep.
incision is about this long.
Yep.
And they're like, and they're going receiver.
Yeah, and Sean and I are like, well, this is where you take Sewell.
I said you should take Sewell, but I said the Bengals are going to be Bengals, and I guarantee they're going to take wide receiver.
And you were right.
Sure enough, they take Jamar Chase right off the bat.
I mean, Jamar Chase is not a bad draft pick. It's a good spot, but
Well,
does
we
it
talked
fit
about
the
it. You
need?
lose A.J. Green, you put Jamar Chase in his place. You'd rather have Jamar Chase
I'm not
right now.
overly familiar with the Bengals' depth chart right now, what they have on the offensive line, but I would have to
I'm going to tell you what they have
imagine-
on the offensive line. Trash.
They have nothing.
Trash.
Dude, the Bengals fans booed that were live.
Yeah, they wanted
I
Sewell.
don't at this point, but the fans booing doesn't. I don't care about. Fans
I know,
booing.
but still,
fans,
but, like,
fans are
that's-
retarded.
Listen, the Knicks fans booed when they draft Porzingis.
Yes. And
Uh,
now he's in Dallas.
Dude, I don't
Tearing
know.
it the fuck up.
I'm sorry, Zach Wilson. If not to go back to that second round pick, Zach Wilson looked terrified of being at the draft and around black.
Zach Wilson looked like he was 13 years old.
Every time they had the picture around black, it's specifically
He's
around
like,
black
he's like
guys.
this. He's like,
Someone tweeted out, "Yo, this man threw up gang signs, and Zach Wilson was ready to call the National Guard." I legit died laughing. But he looked uncomfortable all night. He was.
yes,
they choked the
Sean,
green.
he just found his ball hair. And now he's on
He came-
national
He came from
TV.
BYU directly, and they were just like,
So so Cincinnati. Okay, so they fucked up. Maybe I guess Detroit is the beneficiary of that.
Yes,
Yep.
they are.
The Panthers take J.C. Horn,
Which was
Great
a good
pick.
pick.
which I thought was a great pick.
Yep.
The Broncos then at number 9 surprised everybody with
With
Justin
Surtain.
Fields.
Oh.
First
with Justin
surprise.
Fields still on the board.
"Yes."
The Broncos passed on Justin Fields and they went with Patrick Surtain.
I wouldn't be surprised with
Which-
Mac Jones either, because I think Mac Jones had a potential because
Actually, yeah,
Elway.
you're right. Mac Jones and Justin Fields were
Yes,
both on the board.
because I think Elway, Mac Jones, incredible completion percentage. Like he was the best all time in college football. In
Which
one
is
season.
why I think he's going to be a great fit in New England, but we'll get that in a second.
Yep.
Well,
we'll get
plus
there.
he's, Bama.
The big takeaway from the draft when the Broncos took Surtain for me was, okay, they went out and they got the best defensive player in the draft. That's who they decided.
Arguably, absolutely.
They
Best,
said-
best corner.
Best defensive player, period. I mean, Micah Parsons was
Parsons
close.
is really good.
Jalen Phillips, the guy that Miami took from Miami.
I think the thing with Parsons is he's a little more versatile. You could line him up in a few different spots.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Patrick Surtain is going to be the best. He's probably going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised
I
if
wouldn't
it's
be
either of
surprised
them.
if he has
Like,
5 or
they're
6
both-
interceptions
they're
this year.
both there.
So that being said, you go out, you get the best defensive player in the draft at number 9.
So that means they were getting Aaron Rodgers. That's why they did that.
Also, what it says to me is that George Patton, the general, the GM in Denver, has a plan, and he is sticking to it.
The general, like the car insurance?
That
Yes.
plan, which I outlined a couple of weeks ago when he was first hired, when it was first, the news first broke that Elway was stepping down, and they were bringing in Patton. Patton, when it came to the quarterback situation, they said, unless they can get a clear, obvious upgrade and a significant upgrade over Drew Lock, they are not going to go out and spend big money or spend big draft picks on a mediocre guy.
But now you don't think
Those
two guys that were left weren't an upgrade over Drew Lock?
No, I don't.
They're projects.
They're unproven.
But isn't Drew Lock still a project?
Yes,
yeah, but Drew Lock has
but
only
they tried to
played
get something else.
Drew Lock has played at least 16 games in his NFL career.
And if you go first date to last date, it's night and day.
You also have to take into account the fact that last year was a fucked up year.
Oh, it was.
There was no OTAs. There was no offseason. There was no preseason. He got hurt in game 1. Sutton was done by game 2. He got benched in whatever week they played the Saints, which they would have beat the Saints because he came in close contact with somebody who might have come in contact with somebody who might have come in contact with somebody, whatever bullshit fucking COVID protocols that the NFL had in place. And they were basically like, you have no quarterback, and you're not Baltimore, and you're not Pittsburgh, you're not New England, so fuck you. Go play a game. And basically that's what Roger Goodell
that guy,
said.
your wide receiver.
So that being said, no, I don't think Mac Jones or Justin Fields are significant upgrades over Drew Lock.
All right.
I would much prefer to take Pat Surtain and roll the dice with Drew Lock and see what he has, or Teddy Bridgewater, than take Justin Fields and be in this exact same situation 3 years from now. Because that, in all likelihood, is that's what's more likely to happen, right? You take Mac Jones, you take Justin Fields, I'm sorry. Those two guys have a better chance of failing and you needing a quarterback in 3 or 4 years than you do of Pat Surtain being a defensive player of the year candidate, for example. Right? You take that, roll the dice with Lock. What do you have to lose? Then next year's draft class comes along. Or who knows who becomes available? Maybe Russ Wilson becomes available next year. Or maybe the Broncos were banking on Aaron Rodgers being available in the offseason next year. Who knows?
Or right now.
That sped the process up. But what I'm getting at is you don't. Everybody who says that, like, oh, Teddy Bridgewater, oh, he's going to Denver. That's going to be their starter. And it's like, no.
I mean, he could be.
He could be.
I wouldn't.
Yes,
if he ends up being the starter, I would be like, okay.
If he ends up being the starter, the Broncos are fucked. They're not going to the playoffs.
Well, they're fucked because everything that you were hoping for from Locke, you know you're never going to get.
Right. Because
like
that
right
means
then and there, that's his
the
fate
Locke project
sealed.
is dead in the water. And now you're banking on Teddy Bridgewater to come in and just be.
Which look,
now,
Teddy Bridgewater's not terrible.
He's not. Teddy Bridgewater's floor is a lot higher than Drew Lock's floor. Okay, Drew Lock's floor is I'm going to throw 2 interceptions a game. I might throw 4 touchdowns.
The thing
with
with Bridgewater is he's a game manager. He won't fuck up. But he won't make the the play that you're like, oh wow, look what he did. No,
he would have the Broncos.
He's going to give you the average
flirting
play.
with 500 or just above.
No, I think they'd be better. Actually, the division's going to be kind of tough this year.
The division's tough. You need an elite quarterback in that, and that's the thing with Drew Lock. And look, I'm not even saying if Drew Lock beats out Teddy Bridgewater, legitimately beats him out to be the starter this year, the Broncos are going to be world beaters. I'm not saying that. Drew Lock's going to need some time, right? We knew.
Well, Sutton coming back. They got talent around him at least.
Ton of talent around him, but we knew when Drew Lock was coming out, this was a 2 to 3 year project. That was 2 years ago, but we also kind of lost a year because of the pandemic. So that really didn't help Drew Lock's
Speaking of projects,
case.
Moving over to Sean's side of the ball.
Hold on. So I'll take care of the. Don't worry, I got this.
I'm kind of sick of Broncos talk.
Good for you. The point that I was getting at is he's a project. So you can't have him. When you have COVID, you can't have it. So it makes sense what Patton is doing by bringing in Bridgewater, drafting Surtain, and not getting Fields or Jones. Because Fields and Jones are not significant upgrades over Drew Lock, which is what George Patton said he was going to need in order to take a quarterback onto that roster. for big money or picks. Period. Aaron Rodgers is available. All bets are off. Fuck it. You send it. Now, ideally, they get Aaron Rodgers, and they don't have to give up Drew Lock, and Drew Lock gets to sit for another 2 years behind Aaron Rodgers. And then Aaron Rodgers says, yeah, I'm going to go host Jeopardy. Fuck it. I'm out of here. And then Drew Lock is ready to take over the reins.
Yeah, I don't think Lock thing's gonna happen anymore. Though. I think Lock is dead in the water at this point.
The only way Lock isn't dead in the water is if they don't acquire Aaron Rodgers. Or don't rule out the Deshaun Watson trade either.
We're far away from even that talk. That talk is
Yeah.
nowhere.
Are we, though?
Yeah, because they need to settle that case first, or at least get more information, because that whole thing is just a gigantic question mark right now. We're not going to hear anything about that case for at least another 2-3 months.
Well, look, it's been dead quiet.
Exactly, because
that's a good thing.
They just
Okay,
gaining-
well, it's a good thing
they're
for
just
Watson.
gaining information, yes. It's
Yeah,
a good thing
because
for
they're
Watson.
getting information because now they're like, oh, shit, we actually have to produce some stuff. Oh, my
Nope, 'cause
God.
They have to put stuff together. They have to bring it to court. They have to come
Right,
to
but
different things.
we all know this case is going to go nowhere for the
I
people that
know.
are suing Watson. This is just a way to drag his name through the mud. Somebody had it out for him. It was a hit piece.
Ooh, this just in. Your right tackle just tore his Achilles?
Who's that?
No, Jawan James hasn't played in 2 years.
Oh, okay. It says, right tackle James tears Achilles offsite.
Quite frankly, and I don't mean this in any like malicious way, but as a Broncos fan, if I'm looking at it from a Broncos standpoint, good. He did it off property. He did it outside the
Yeah, so you
facility.
don't- you don't have to pay him.
Saves him $10 million. It saves the Broncos $10 million.
Well, it gives them the insurance that they could use on him.
Yeah. Well, it saves us $10 million bucks. So
If
boom.
I'm him, I would have crawled my ass in the stadium and just throw myself down some stairs. Ah!
I mean, it sucks for
Hey, get out of the car,
it
take a
sucks for
step.
Juwan
Ah!
James. But Juwan James, he's played like 9 games or 6 games since they signed him. He's been hurt, and then he opted out of last year because of COVID. Fuck him. He's a bitch. Fuck him. Good. That's what you get for opting out.
Like that, Pat.
What did I
What
say
the
last? What did I say last year? For the majority of these guys, opting out is going to be career suicide.
A lot of the guys retired.
Yeah,
Just flat
A lot
out,
of
they're
them
just like,
did.
"Meh."
Yeah, a lot of them did.
Yeah, it's career suicide because they know that once you
And
take
just
that
like we said,
year off,
Danta's going to be there.
and
He's
they
going to
find
be a starter.
Danta's not gonna. He's not gonna be. He'll be out by week 5, 6.
I don't think so.
Dude, unfortunately, Joey might be right on that because the Patriots have like 13 linebackers right now.
Yeah, that's
Which is
Belichick's
fucking
boy. though.
terrifying.
That's his boy.
It is his boy, but we have like 13 linebackers.
Right, but who better to teach the Belichick way than him to the younger guys?
We got tons of guys.
Well, they need that. Well, they brought back what's his name from Miami.
Oh yeah, your boy Kyle Van Noy.
Count Van Noy.
for a discount too, like $5 million.
Wow, really? Like Bill Belichick doesn't do that every other couple of years.
Yeah. So,
Oh, you left me for big money? I'm gonna take you for my pocket change, boy.
So let's talk a little bit about the Patriots, and obviously the Mac Jones draft pick was huge for several reasons.
2 teams moved up in front of the Patriots, though. Specifically, Chicago Bears, who paid the future for Justin Fields.
Which, if it works out, all's well that ends well.
Let's be honest.
If
the
it
three of us-
doesn't,
the 3 of us are sitting here. I have zero faith in Justin Fields' career anymore.
none,
I think he's already a fucking dead
because he went to the
quarterback.
quarterback black hole that is Chicago.
And did you see his reaction live?
Yeah,
looked
it
like
was quite funny.
It was very lackluster. I wish you could pull up the video because you probably can't find it right now. He gets drafted, and his family's like, "Oh my God, my baby did it!" And they're screaming.
And he's sitting there and he's like,
just
I'm
putting
a
the hat
bear.
on. His face is dead straight. Like puts the hat on, almost as if like either he's a serial killer and you just don't know it yet, or B, he's just like, this is not the spot I wanted to go at all. And it could be a combination of
blame him?
both. No, I can't blame him. And
I
then,
mean, listen, when Rex Grossman is in like your top 5 of greatest quarterbacks of all time, that's a problem.
well, they still consider McMahon the best quarterback of all time in Chicago.
Well, for the Chicago fans, he is your best quarterback of all time.
Is he though?
Otto Graham.
Otto.
No, Jay Cutler played phenomenal there. Statistic-wise, they didn't win anything with him, but he played phenomenal.
They got to an NFC championship.
But McMahon got you the Super Bowl.
The defense did. Come on.
No, the Fritz did.
McMahon did. Look, all right, we can discuss the
Yeah,
merits
that's
of.
another,
Yeah,
another
I don't want to
deal.
discuss
Yeah,
86 Bears.
Yeah.
But
The Bears.
so the Bears jumped in front of the Patriots thinking they definitely were taking Justin Fields.
Yep.
And then the pick right before the Patriots, the Vikings, traded the pick out to the New York Jets.
Yes.
The Jets took
And you and I were like, oh my God, this would be the most Jet thing the Jets could do
to
is take
double up on
another
a quarterback. And I was going to be like, there's no way.
And then for a second we were like,
Yes.
I heard you guys
Jets
mention it,
could
and,
jet.
and as I was watching it, obviously I already knew the answers, but as I was watching it, I was like,
For a split second,
No, I
would
was
that
like,
would
no.
totally be a Jets thing to be like, 1, F you Patriots,
listen,
2.
I love a good fucking idiot Jets story, but that one even for me was a little bit like, nah.
So the
Yeah,
Jets.
listen, we spent a second on it. We were
I
like, could you
can't-
imagine?
I can't remember the guard's name.
you
they
spend
took.
enough time on it for me to remember it, but that's about it.
I can't remember the guard's name they took. He's a very good guard. They were worried the Patriots were going to draft him, though. So that's what they got in front of him. But the Vikings announced that they had a very good competitive offer from the New Orleans Saints.
To move up.
They chose to take the Jets' offer, and the Jets said, all right, cool, we're taking this guard. The Saints were going to draft Mac Jones. Found that out today. I was blown away because Sean Payton privately worked out Mac Jones. They had visited there. I never thought it was going to be a chance of it happening. But apparently
Because they were drafting so late. Yeah.
Sean Payton thought that Mac Jones could potentially be the next quarterback of the Saints. And, you'll see my reaction if you go back and watch our show. I said Mac Jones, kind of uncomfortable by it. And how I feel, I still feel the same today as I did then. Mac Jones, definitely the quarterback of the future. I don't think he plays this year. I think he plays future years after
Well, you
after
got
Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Let's say Cam Newton stays healthy. I should actually preface that with that. Cam Newton stays healthy, it's Cam all year. Cam Newton gets hurt, then you'll see Mac Jones, unfortunately. But I think that's not the plan for that. Belichick doesn't like giving things to rookies. That's always been his MO. Now, Mac Jones said a lot post being drafted that made me happy as a Patriots fan. And he said, privately I was telling teams, like, it doesn't matter where I go. He said privately, I told Nick, I told Coach Saban, I told other people, I really want to get drafted by New England. I really want to play in a similar system than
Yeah,
how
from
I played.
Saban. Yeah.
And it was kind of cool to hear that
And
he's
who
like,
better to learn by
he's like
than
this,
Bill?
He's like, this was my absolute. If I had to pick a team, I wanted to go to New England. He was
Yeah.
so happy to be picked by that, which kind of made me feel good as a Patriots fan.
Well,
Yeah.
of course.
The only thing that bothers me about Mac Jones is that I think you've already seen peak Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones, the best you saw him last year, is going to be the best you see him in the NFL. I think he's just going to be a very good quarterback, but I was looking for like that next level athleticism. I was looking for like huge play potential.
Yeah, but does Bill care about athleticism?
Absolutely not. Someone found Bill Belichick's 1991 Cleveland Browns head coaching guide of how to scout players. Glad you brought that up. What Bill Belichick looks for in a quarterback is efficiency, the ability not to turn the ball over, and quick playmaking ability. Doesn't necessarily have to be, he just wants someone to make sure they make plays efficiently, correctly, and smart.
Well, they're just making the right football play.
Making the right football read. That's all he looks for. In 1991, Belichick is the same as 2021 Belichick.
Absolutely.
And Mac Jones, if you've seen the picture online, you've seen the picture I'm going to describe to you. He is the most out of shape, in shape quarterback I've ever seen come out of college.
Besides Tom Brady.
Tom Brady was actually thinner.
He was thinner, but he was still out of
Mac
shape.
Jones,
He's got a
bit of a beer belly.
little bit of gelatin going on over there.
No, never lifted probably any weight in his life for upper body, and just looks like the most average white man. Looks like any of us could just sign up for the Patriots and be like, we're the quarterback now. And they're like,
So
fuck
look,
it.
Mac Jones
You know,
probably
Mac
didn't
Jones
lift any
ran a-
weights.
you know-
Mac
But
Jones,
you know that-
hairless.
he threw barrels of hay though, so that's what kept him,
Oh, okay.
in shape.
And he ran a faster 40 than Tom Brady.
Yeah, but everyone knows a fast.
I think everybody. I think there's offensive linemen that
No,
smoke.
for a pudgy dad bod looking ass.
So did you?
Listen, my favorite thing about Mac Jones is the stogie after he got drafted.
dude, 10 years ago,
that
Vince-
was awesome.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. No, that wasn't after he got drafted. That was after they won the national championship.
No, I
Yes,
thought
it was.
I thought he had a stogie. like,
Maybe he did after. but
walking down the hallway, not lit or anything, but he was just like, yeah.
I've become a huge fan of cigars.
Oh, I love stogie. A good stogie, I'm with it.
I
So
might smoke one up here tonight while I'm doing
should, why
post
not?
show.
As long as it's sweet, because you don't want this to stank. For too
I
long.
have we were down in when I was down in Florida. I went to this place called the Humidor, and it
Oh,
was
nice.
inside of a liquor store, and it was a huge thing. And they had Fuentes, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
bought 2 of each of every kind that they had, and I bought this one big ass like fucking
the
2
stogie
Rick Ross fucking thick
like
shit.
this, like that.
Yeah, that I smoked that when I played LPGA Daytona. We played the Hills at LPGA in Daytona
Did you
on
listen to the Hills?
last Tuesday. No, we did not. We listened to a lot of things. Actually, no, we didn't listen to any music at the Hills, which is weird because we were the only ones out there. It was crazy. We had 2 singles pass us. That's it.
I saw a video yesterday. Somebody was standing outside of her house, and she was like, "So, people golfing behind my house? Just playing Metallica, no big deal." I was like, "Yeah."
I mean, probably I'd drive by. I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, bro." I mean, not for nothing. Hardest course I've ever played in my entire life. Tied my best score. No big deal.
So-
Shot a 92. One of the most difficult courses.
Sean's like, means nothing to me.
I was gonna say I don't know shit about golf. Everyone's like,
He's
oh,
like, you know
I
what
got
that score
90.
means to me? The same thing as the phone number to the show. I got nothing.
Which is 774-992-8702 if you want to give us a call.
I don't know shit about that.
And you want to get in on some of this Patriots draft action. We're into that. We talked about a lot about the Broncos, Aaron Rodgers. We're getting to a bunch of other stuff. We still got a little bit of LeBron to get into.
Yeah. So about 3 weeks ago, we talked about it on the show. I said, this team is built for a quarterback to be drafted.
Yep.
The whole roster's being paid. The only thing they need is a cheap, efficient, cost-controlled quarterback, and they got that with Mac Jones
Well, they got that with Cam at first.
and Cam too.
So let me ask
So
you
the
this.
two of your quarterbacks combined are costing you nothing.
Do you think Mac Jones is who's your opening day starter?
Cam Newton.
I agree.
Cam
Yep.
Newton.
Okay,
100%.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
100%.
I think Cam Newton is.
Now, the only- I'm gonna say-
and
I
not
will
only
say this. I will say
hold on,
this.
I'm going to take
All
a
right,
step
go ahead.
further. I think Cam Newton is your starter all year.
Me too,
All 17
Here's my
games.
wrench.
17.
Here's my wrench.
if healthy.
Here's my wrench.
Barring health, obviously.
Mac Jones comes into camp, lights it up. Like, completely lights it up. Belichick's looking at him like,
What's lights it up? You explain to me, as a Patriots fan,
Okay.
what do you think is lights it up?
doesn't make a mistake throughout all of camp.
What do you consider a mistake? So wait, you're being too vague.
No, I'm not being too vague.
What doesn't make the guy comes in
What is he throws?
flawless.
He
No
doesn't-
interceptions in camp at all.
Who gives a shit about
No
that?
turnovers, no bad decisions,
If
No
he doesn't
drop
make-
no
balls.
errant
Listen,
throws.
If he doesn't throw an interception in camp, then he's not practicing properly.
I'm just saying. He goes into camp, he lights it up. They have their scrimmages, he lights it up.
So he's 97 for 97, 8,000 camp yards.
Sure, whatever.
I mean, unless
If Cam comes in and Cam still can't throw, Cam still can't do the things that we saw him
Look-
at the end of the year last year, that's the only way
No.
that Mac Jones... Dude, I'm telling you right now.
I can see
Belichick
this-
is not going to go through another year of, well, let's see if he can make this 10-yard slant.
We'll see.
I can see
that's the only
this
thing I can
turning,
see.
I can see this being a Jay Cutler, Jake Plummer type scenario.
Okay, yeah.
Where Jay Cutler came in as a rookie in 06, and they were in camp, and Jay Cutler was making throws that Jake Plummer couldn't even dream of making, and guys were looking at Shanahan like,
Hey,
Side-eyeing him.
he's not your starter?
you can start this kid or what? And then they started Jake Plummer, and they started out the season really well, and then it took till Thanksgiving, and then finally they pulled the plug. And
Here came the butt smoker.
And then Jay Cutler came in and played really well to end the season. That we all know how that turned out, but I
Yep.
could see this being a similar situation
What?
where
It all depends
Cam
on
Newton,
Cam.
where Cam Newton comes in, and Cam's the guy. Cam's clearly the guy, but Mac Jones might start making some throws and might start doing some things, and guys might start looking at Belichick and be like, "Whoa, hey!" I mean, granted, Ernie Adams is retired; he's no longer there. He's the scouting department takes a huge hit. Uncle Ernie's done. But that being
But
said,
it goes back to the shoulder. That was my biggest point, was the shoulder. If Cam comes into camp and he's making throws and he's throwing balls in the dirt and he's Donovan McNabb again and he's doing the things that you're like, all right, I just thought this was like a one-off. Like, I thought it was COVID. I thought it was, he couldn't get in shape.
Mm-hmm.
Now the dude's coming in healthy. The dude's coming in with a whole offseason and he still can't do it. Whoa.
I'll tell you why I think you're wrong. Is because Belichick has already told his team prior to Mac Jones being drafted, this is Cam's team.
Oh, yeah.
This is your offseason to work with him. All the team. Cam already said he's not doing the COVID stuff with the team. He says, I want to go to Gillette. He's already there. He's practicing with all the new guys, which includes Hunter Henry, Janu Smith, Kendrick Bourne. All the guys they got are already at Gillette practicing together. They've chose to waive their COVID stuff against the Players Association, and they're there already practicing. I think Cam's the starter. That could be flawless. He can come in. Mac Jones could look like the next Aaron Rodgers and be slinging it all over the field and look like $1 million. He's still giving the job to Cam week one,
Unless
regardless.
Cam can't throw the ball.
Unless Cam's injured. If Cam's injured, then all bets are off the table. Then
which,
he's not
I
going
mean,
to be on the team
could,
at all.
could happen. I mean, camp and the preseason have been pretty unforgiving to a lot of people and have ended
Only
a lot of
3
careers.
games this year.
Right, even still, 3 games. It's all it takes.
But I'm
though.
not even talking about him getting injured.
I mean,
in
let's
the
be
game.
let's
I'm
be
just
real.
literally
the
saying,
preseason's only 3 games anyway. The 4th game's just for the guys that are trying to make the roster.
Yeah, everyone's squatting in the
that's
field.
your
pooping.
practice squad guys
So,
and the guys that fill up
wait,
your 53.
I'm sorry, did we talk about this? Is week 1 now the end of August?
No.
No.
They're
They
not-
extend-
they
they
don't-
extended. They back-ended it, not
so
front-ended
so
it.
the Super Bowl is going to be the middle of February now.
Correct.
Oh, I don't like that.
Instead of the first week,
I
it's the
don't like
second.
that
I think
at all.
the Super Bowl's the second week of February.
No, fuck that. No, make the beginning of that season the end of August. I'm
but
sorry.
I think they're worried about that for it being too hot for guys to play.
I don't give a shit. That's football. I don't want to stop being in the middle of goddamn February.
The schedule comes out on the 12th of May.
So next week.
Next week.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That's
exactly
that's
next Tuesday.
It's my mother's birthday.
Wait, no, it's
It's Wednesday.
Happy early birthday.
The 12th Wednesday.
Yeah, so it's not 8
The
days
day
from now.
after the show.
Sorry, thank you. I don't know what day we're
Oh, I
on
know that
anymore.
because of my mama.
My mama. But
So
shit.
Thursday, September 9th is going to be the
Opener.
I almost
the
said
opener.
gender reveal.
January
oh my God.
9th, which would typically have been Wild Card Weekend, will
Is
be
the last. Yeah. See, so like I said, they back
the
in
final week of this. Yeah,
So
the
the
regular
Super
season.
Bowl will be the second week of February.
Damn, I do not like that at all.
I don't either.
But if you think about it, it's the same thing.
No,
It
but now
starts at the
that
same
means
time.
in 3 years, when they eventually make it 18 games,
18.
which they've already.
But I think in 3 years, when they make it 18, they push back a week.
No, they're gonna push it back 2 weeks. So now the Super
No,
Bowl
no,
will
I'm
be the
saying
end of February.
I'm saying opening weekend would be the 1st, not the 9th.
Dude, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Like it'll be like the Labor Day kickoff special, where everybody's off and they could watch their games.
now
and
that guarantees that no
Yeah,
team.
because
Will,
the playoffs start on the 15th of January.
dude, I hate that.
So
I hate that.
if we're looking forward here to January,
you're
and I'll
talking
pull up my
second
calendar.
week of February.
So
for the-
January 15th is going to be Wild Card Weekend, which means
Then you
the weekend of my birthday is going to be the divisional weekend, which is usually a championship weekend.
and then you got championship weekend.
Then championship weekend is going to be
week
the
off.
29th, the week off, and then the 13th is going to
Yeah, I
be
was gonna
February
say it'd be a
13th.
Valentine's Day Super Bowl.
Dude,
pretty
that
much
sucks.
So if that's February 13th, what day is the fucking Daytona 500 on?
They're just trying to invade.
It's probably
all
gonna be at the
sports.
week in between. It's probably gonna be the week in between.
That'd be smart.
The week in between the championship game and the Super Bowl. That way they have everything to themselves and they start their season on time.
But yeah. So all things being said, I'm excited we drafted a quarterback. I actually love the Patriots draft. The Patriots did something they usually don't do. They drafted best player available most of the time.
Yeah.
Which is why they drafted a lot of defensive players. The Patriots basically said this offseason, you ran all over us last year. We made the same joke. You could run 150 yards on the Patriots every single game. Belichick has 12 defensive linemen on the roster right now. 12.
And like 14 linebackers.
And I think it's 13 linebackers legitimately. Belichick has basically said, run at me, you bitch.
Daytona's going to be on the 20th.
So they're gonna push it.
They're gonna push it back.
Well,
That's
the
crazy.
date it usually fluctuates between the second and the third week, so that makes sense. But so that's crazy. So you're gonna get the Super Bowl and then Daytona back-to-back Sundays.
That'll be fun for you.
My wife is gonna be pissed.
Yeah, mine
probably-
too, because Super Bowl's
probably gonna leave.
Valentine's weekend now.
You should probably build up here to be like a loft for her so she can just escape.
That's what the spare room's gonna be.
Oh, there you go then.
I was thinking maybe that side being a sanctuary, but that's mostly storage now.
Sanctuary.
Next house. Anyway, 774-992-8702. Audio only stream. Link is pinned at the top, mixler.com/Joey-Fats. If you don't want to type your phone watching Facebook and you still want to listen to the show live, you can do that right there at that link. Just click listen live. They'll ask you to download the app, which if you do, great. They got a lot of great content on there.
Yes, they do.
If not, you can always just open it up in your browser and just click listen live, and you can minimize that shit and still listen to that shit. That shit is sexy.
One more thing before we get off the Patriots talk is that going back to my thick, juicy boy discussion, the Patriots defensive line, the lightest defensive lineman is 310 pounds.
So you tell me they all thick.
The heaviest is 385.
So I would be the lightest offensive lineman on the Patriots right now.
Like the second lightest.
I'm like 313. Fuck you.
Yeah, so you're second.
I could drop 4 pounds. Like
Could you?
Go
I
take
can
a,
go take
yeah,
a
you
shit.
can go take a good
Could-
shit. I mean, what the fuck?
It's you. It's you
Listen.
and David Andrews.
Hold on,
They
listen.
look at each other like
Like this. Hey, I got some Taco Bell, bro. Oh, I'm gonna lose 6 pounds.
fuck yeah.
David Andrews is like, I don't know.
those the calories won't even have time to take hold. They'd be shitting out.
So, like, where's that Diablo sauce? Give me that shit.
Hell,
Patriots. The
Ooh, I can
Patriots
go for
picked
some
up.
of that right
The
now.
Patriots picked up the
I
fifth-year
could
option.
always go for T-Bellows.
Oh, the Patriots
for a
picked up
ride after?
the fifth-year
I
option.
gotta go that way
of-
anyway.
Ah,
I, mean,
fuck.
I gotta go get it. I haven't eaten dinner, so
What?
No, forget it.
Who?
Saying the
Mac
Patriots,
Jones.
Patriots picked up the fifth-year option of Isaiah Wynn. They didn't pick up Sony Michel. And the only reason why I bring that up is because we drafted a running back out of Oklahoma who was 245 pounds during the season last year. And to me, all I've been talking about is Belichick's getting back to just running these big fat dudes. And
The
apparently,
LeGarrette Blounts of the world.
that's who his biggest. That was his star growing up. He's like, my favorite role model was LeGarrette Blount. I was like,
He was like, why is
"Bro."
that? Because I can smoke weed, eat cheeseburgers, and run over people.
I was like, bro, what? Your role model at running back was LeGarrette Blount?
Yeah, nigga, he liked to smoke.
Dude,
Shit.
it making me laugh so much that kids these days growing up being like, my role model was LeGarrette Blount. I'm like, what?
It's
That
in
was
his
your
name.
role
It's Blunt.
Yeah, but I can't even say this kid's name. Rashonda. I don't know his name at all. I can't say that.
Rashashana.
But apparently he got up to 261 pounds last year while running.
Wow.
I'm all for this
Yo,
big,
let me tell
thick,
you something right now.
He can really dance.
tall bear type looking dude. Just like running like that. Dude went 3 yards and was like out of breath. Whatever happened to Tolbert?
What, Tolbert?
Fat Mike Tolbert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Remember?
I think he ended up in Chicago and died, didn't he?
He got drafted by the Chargers. He's like, yeah, let's run this bitch.
And then he ended up in
What was
Carolina.
the Chargers fullback they had before Tolbert? It was
Tolbert was a running back.
Yeah, Tolbert was a running back. Yeah.
He started as a
He got so
fullback.
big.
No, they made him into a fullback.
Yeah,
Like
they
when he
made
went to
him into a
Carolina, they're
fullback.
like, bro, you a
And
fullback.
then he went to Atlanta too.
Yeah, Fat Mike Tolbert. Yeah. No, what was the Chargers running back?
Lorenzo Neal.
Yeah, Lorenzo Neal.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that was a good
Fullback.
one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Lorenzo Neal was all muscle though.
Yeah.
That dude
Not
was
to be
just
confused.
one giant muscle.
That
of a
dude
fullback.
was a rock.
Yeah.
He was a
He
pit
was
bull.
a terrifying, like 5'8", 225
Yeah,
pounds.
of pure
Jesus.
rock solidness.
Like, who the fuck? What are you, like Rich Piana's like fucking like offspring? Holy
He's like,
shit!
I used to train with the Hulk back in the day.
He walks in. He's like, I'm here to carry the ball.
He's like, I don't know. He's like, I came out the womb and my mom put like a fucking 15-pound necklace on me, so I got these thick traps.
I think it's like, my
Yeah,
man,
my boy
that's
was
not a
thick.
necklace.
He was
That's a barbell.
He was
thick.
thick. 774-992-8702. Give us a call. You want to get anything in here before we wrap this show up? We're talking the Patriots draft, the Broncos draft, Aaron Rodgers, everything in between. Any major surprises or letdowns or anything that from the draft that jumped out to you guys that made you want to say something?
Major letdowns?
I don't think so. I think it kind of went according to script, really.
I think I like my idea to begin the show that for the first 3 picks, every second you waste off the clock, every minute you waste off the clock, that team owes $1 million to charity. There's no reason for it
yeah,
to
because
take
Trevor
X-
Lawrence shouldn't have taken the full
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. Everyone knows the pick.
You know what pissed me off about the draft in the first round was, and I was watching this with a buddy of mine, and we're watching it, and we both came to the conclusion, like before the draft even started, we're like, we're just so sick and tired of sports, and like they're fucking like, oh, like we're all for this cause and we're all for that and this and that and blah blah blah. Why was it like every other fucking pick, the commissioner came out and was just like, so anyway, this pick, and meanwhile, boom, the pick is in, and here comes the commissioner. And now we're out here to tell you about.
Yeah, he just had another index card just reading off him. Everyone's saying that. Like, what's he reading this time?
Dog cancer and dog autism, and that dogs get autism, and we want you to donate money to this thing. And we have the chairman
PETA,
of the
yes.
board of the Raise Awareness for Canine Autism guy, and it's just like, dude, shut the fuck. Like, I don't listen. I'm okay with. I'm sure there are plenty of great charities and plenty of great organizations out there. Can we please, you're the NFL. You have there's millions of dollars invested into advertising. Why the fuck are you taking 7 minutes out of my life to announce a pick to tell me about some charity or some bullshit fucking organization? And you're like, oh, we're committed to equality and women in the workforce. And we want 75% of our workforce to be minority women by 2031. Pya! Like, shut the fuck up. Like, get off my screen, dude. No one fucking cares. Like, just the bashing over your head of every single time somebody comes out to talk and they're like, this is our cause. This is our voice. This is our stage right now. It's like, can you shut up? Can you just shut the fuck up? Can you take out like a 90-second ad in the fucking Super Bowl like everybody else? And that way I know like when to go get chips and refill my drink because your shit sucks. No one cares.
Some of them beer nuts.
I will say the biggest disappointment of the draft is I never understood at any point during the first round what was up with that chair on stage that a random person would sit in.
It was like their fan club, like
Why?
some super fan or whatever the hell it was.
Could
No,
you
it wasn't.
imagine like
No idea.
No, it wasn't. Someone asked us, someone said, oh, is this like a super fan thing? And they said no.
yeah, what the fuck was that?
Well,
Like
the Jacksonville one was it said on the bottom, super fan.
Right. They said that. But they just said, hey, come up on stage. And she was like, oh, my God, we're not winning. She's like, you can sit here. She was like, I don't know why they called me up.
Yeah.
Like, she had no
Hey,
idea.
imagine like how weird that must be. Like you get called up on stage at the NFL draft and you think like, oh, I'm about to do something cool. And they're like, nah, just sit in this chair.
This
and
lazy boy.
The commissioner's going to fist bump you on the way by.
Oh, the dude that dressed up as Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh,
to a
he
T.
stole the show for the Browns.
Yeah.
Everyone was like going, ooh, yeah. He's like, well, I've been thinking about this big
Bro,
mean
he
Gene.
he pulled it off great too.
Yeah, he had the mask, the
The
Macho
mask,
Man
he had-
mouth mask.
He had the whole ensemble going. He had the finger point. He had everything.
Yeah, too bad he was a Browns fan. It made no sense.
Whatever.
The Browns are just terrible.
Browns going Browns.
If Macho Man was a fan of any team, it would not be. It would definitely not be the Browns. I'm trying to think of a team. He'd have to be.
He strikes me
something
as like a Raiders fan or a Bills fan.
No, he's
I was
like,
gonna say the Dolphins.
He's like very electric colors.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Maybe
Dolphins.
the new Rams.
San Diego.
Maybe the new Rams. The new colors. Are
Yeah,
like
Macho
very
Man was a
white
beach
and vibrant.
guy though. He liked the water.
Ooh,
So you
you're
get it.
right.
So I'm telling you, it's the Dolphins.
Miami.
It's gotta be the Dolphins.
It's either that or San Diego.
I was walking out to the pier and I saw this dolphin in the ocean. I said, something's not right.
So I sat on my rock with my denim.
I love that shit. Dude, they're making a little Macho Man cream of the crop figure. I'm fucking buying it.
Did you watch the biography?
No, I haven't seen it. I have a DVR. Don't spoil it.
I didn't watch it.
I heard it was a
Wait,
hit
there's a
piece.
Macho Man one?
It just
Yeah,
came,
it just came out
Sunday.
yesterday.
I heard it
Yeah.
was a hit piece and a half. Like they just trashed
Was
his
it
character.
on A&E?
Yeah.
The same one that did the Stone Cold one? Because the
And-
Stone
Dude,
Cold one was awesome.
Did
And
you
so
see
was
the
the Roddy
Roddy
Piper.
Piper?
Phenomenal.
No,
But
I
you
haven't
know
seen it.
what?
I'll have
The
to watch
Piper
that
one
too.
was fucking
I
awesome.
knew a lot about the Roddy Piper one, though.
You didn't know?
I did.
Oh yeah, we all did.
And then, which really kind of bothered me, like, in the Steve Austin one, they didn't talk about him beating the shit out of, like, Deborah and, like, his first wife. But then, sorry to bury the lead, they talk about Macho Man, like, beating the shit out of everybody. And I'm like, the fuck was that? Like, it's not really fair. But they didn't talk about him doing, like, donating to kids and all the charities he was a part of.
Well,
I
because
don't know.
he did, so he couldn't.
That was a hit piece, though. I didn't really like that part of it. Like, they were, like, shitting all over his character at the end. It was fucked up.
I mean,
Fair.
towards the end, he was kind of fucked up.
No, he wasn't. He was actually, like
No,
he
I mean
quit.
like he was fucked up in the head at the end.
No, they kind of, and then they made fun of the way he died, and I was like, that's fucking awful. They're like, oh, it's such a Macho Man way to die, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. I took some of it like personal.
I'll
like,
have to watch it and see.
I haven't
only-
watched it yet.
I saw the last 15 minutes. I
No,
didn't see
I
the
haven't
whole
watched it.
first
I
half,
haven't
and I
watched
was like,
The Stone Cold one was great.
Stone Cold
Stone
was
Cold
fun.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
That was fantastic.
He was
You know
like,
what?
Owen, you're supposed to
You
go
know-
on your knees. He's like, no, don't worry, it's cool, I got it. And my head stuck out like a good 4 inches from his butt.
Yeah.
And wrench, that just went on my neck. And when he was sitting there talking, he's like, I was rolling around and
He couldn't feel anything.
he was like, I laid on top of him. He's like, I didn't even know how I did it. I was numb. All I saw was black.
yeah.
He's like, they crawled me out the ring. Like, literally, he was like, they rolled me out the ring. I was walking, and he was just like, remember, just look up and put your arm up. Just put your arm up. And he was like, I did. And then they showed him in the back when he was putting on his chains and stuff. And he was like, and I was just sitting there, and he was like, I was out.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't remember anything.
The best part about the Stone Cold documentary on A&E the thing I loved the most about it was it told me things I didn't already know.
Right.
Unlike the Last Dance, which was still the most disappointing fucking documentary I've ever
It'll still be
watched.
better than any LeBron James fucking thing that'll come out later on in life.
Well,
Speaking
because
of
LeBron James is going to direct, act, and edit everything himself, much like his hero Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but Jordan at least sticks to the script. He doesn't change it 17 times. Like LeBron will be like, yeah, that's great. He'll play it back to 4 people. Like, yo, we got to change the whole thing. The whole thing's got to change.
Kill off that kid.
I got to wear my Yankees hat again. Nah, wait, maybe my Red Sox hat. Cleveland!
That was really annoying, though. Like, dude, take off the Red Sox shit.
But he's a part owner now.
That's
He
what's
literally
annoying.
Owns the Red Sox.
That's what's absolutely annoying
He
about it.
owns the Red Sox.
But he should know his fan base. His fan base doesn't like Boston. Like that's like the shtick.
You really think LeBron gives a
No,
shit about fans?
LeBron just likes his
That's
money.
what I mean. Like he's fan tone deaf.
Listen,
he doesn't care.
as far as LeBron is concerned, and this is my stance on LeBron, as a Lakers fan, I love him wearing purple and gold because he gives us a chance to win a championship every single year. As far as LeBron goes as a person, I've had to very much come to grips with the fact that I have to learn to separate the art from the artist. Because LeBron James is a hate-hoaxing, lying prima donna. He's basically everything that you hate in a professional athlete. Other than the fact that, yeah, great.
no, he's a solid dude.
He does good stuff for kids. He does, he builds charities and this and shit and that shit.
The schools, that was
That's
cool.
and that's all good. And okay, cool. Like
You're a
I'm,
multi-millionaire that
Yeah.
came from shit. You should be doing that.
I'm
Like,
cool.
Sure.
No, I'm not gonna say he should.
No,
be
it
doing
should
it.
be,
It's
but
not-
if you're gonna
it's-
talk the game, then be the game.
it's
you know
good
what I mean?
that he does. It's not that he should be doing it, but he can and he does, and that is appreciative. That being said, LeBron needs to learn bringing politics into sports and oh, it's go YouTube his reaction to hey, we saw you reading this book by Malcolm X. What did you think? And he's like, oh man, Malcolm X was like really great, and he said a lot of things.
So it's like, oh, so you didn't read one word of the book, did you?
No, basically. And if you look at every single
He's like,
picture
"It's
of
got a
him
great
reading
cover."
a book, he's on like page 4. Like it's just
Someone compiled all of them into one
They did.
montage, and
And
he's on the first page
listen,
of every single book.
I love LeBron, the basketball player. LeBron, the guy, questionable at best.
Now,
I mean, he's a confirmed hate hoaxer,
but
and he's
you're
got that.
talking about
And
LeBron.
after he put that cop out in Ohio out, you put him on blast and said, "You're next." Listen, man.
Which he then took down right away.
He's under investigation too.
I have absolutely zero suspicion that me, as a 36-year-old white male from the middle class who wears blue for a living, that LeBron hates me. Okay? I have no illusions about this. I am not going out to dinner with LeBron. I'm not partying with LeBron. I'm not hanging out with him. We're not going to be friends. I wear blue for a living. LeBron despises me. And even though I'm not a real cop, by any stretch of the imagination, not even close, he doesn't know the difference between that. So I have no illusion. So when I'm rooting for LeBron on TV, I know that LeBron would prefer me to be dead somewhere than he would for me to be breathing. So that's okay. But I've come to the reality of that situation that there is just certain things that you can't fix. And I'm okay with that. As long as he brings me an 18th banner, I'm whatever. It is what it is.
Now I'm going to talk about.
Wait, hold on. Before you get to that, the analogy I just pictured was they show a picture of Joey dead. Like it's like a cop. It's not funny. Lying down, they lift up your jersey. They show the Lakers jersey. He's like, still a bitch.
I always thought of it as like that part in the end of the South Park episode where they send the whale, the killer whale, to the moon.
Oh.
And the moon's just laying dead, and the cows, like the whale's just laying dead on the moon. They're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we did it. We got Wheelsiac to the moon. We freed him." And it's just like dead whale on the moon,
Yeah, that's it.
and just silence throughout the credits. Just like, and they're all celebrating on Earth, like, "Yeah, we did it, high fiving. We did it," and not realizing that the whale's just laying dead. It's a carcass on the moon that will never go anywhere.
Nope.
That's how I feel like LeBron feels about me, which is okay, and that's fine. That's his right to do so. And as you know. Listen, I don't consider myself law enforcement, but I work within the industry.
Of course.
And I have a ton of friends and a ton of family that are, in fact, real law enforcement. And I hate it for them, too.
So how do you feel about LeBron? And hopefully this doesn't cut off your point that you were just about to make. How do you feel about LeBron, about the flip-flopping from last year to this year? Is that what you're going to talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So, no, go ahead.
How do you feel about LeBron flip-flopping?
I don't matter.
I said, do you want to go?
No, it's fine.
No, you can't do this tonight because I have you a chance.
He's pulling a LeBron.
No, if I was pulling LeBron, I'd be like, you two people need to shut the fuck up and listen.
Shut your laptop for you.
He's making himself a victim.
So
my two white counterparts just never shut the fuck up so I can talk, but whatever.
I've talked the least. So how do you feel about
was
LeBron
red.
James? It was red. How do you feel about LeBron James last year basically coming up with the play-in idea, saying like all those teams should kind of play in together, and then this year he said, "Yo, fucking fire whoever said that shit." That shit was stupid.
Last year was a different story because there was the bubble, the season was shortened.
Last year was a different story because he was in first fucking place.
No, it was no. Let's listen. I will be the first one to criticize LeBron when he says or does something stupid. Mm-hmm. This is not one of those things. The play-in tournament is fucking retarded. Just if you want more playoff teams, just expand the playoffs to 10 fucking teams. Like, you know what? Fuck it. Everybody makes the fucking playoffs. I don't give a shit. Like, whatever. Who gives a fuck? There's, 32 teams now? 30?
Just 30.
30. 15 teams in each, right? Fuck it.
Oh, my God.
Let's just make the top 12 teams in each conference go to the playoffs and just, fucking fizzle,
Just
one
start in
place
the playoffs.
Fuck it. Like, who gives a shit, right? Like, no,
Well,
the play-in game is stupid because why the fuck? So you have 7 versus 8. The winner of that gets the 7 seed. Then 8 plays the winner of 9 versus 10, and that gets the 8 seed. So you could go from being potentially a 7 seed
and be
to
out of the
a
playoffs.
Lottery pick in one game.
No, it's a two-game series.
No, because if the 7 seed loses, that it doesn't matter. Winner of 7-8 gets the 7 seed. And then the loser of that has to play the winner of 9 versus 10. So if 7 goes and plays 10, they're done. And if they lose, they're done. So you could have the number 7. So basically my point is this. What the fuck is the point of an 82 regular game season if you're just going to invite 2 more teams into this stupid
Now,
play-in tournament thing,
I like
which is fucking retarded, by the way. I will agree with LeBron on that. Whoever came up with this should be fired. It worked last year for the bubble because we didn't have an 82-game regular season, but when you have a regular season, there's no need for it.
Well, technically, this year we don't have an 82-game season either.
I meant a regular season.
It's actually the same amount of games as it was last year. 70 games.
That's
Right, but you're starting, but you're not. There's not a 2-month
I get
gap
that.
in the middle
So,
of it.
The initial plan for the play-in games were if 7 through 10 were separated by less than 2 games, that would merit it. I like that idea. I was like, all right, you know what? You had a bad game the last game of the season.
No.
You guys within a game of
No.
each other.
Bad.
Whatever. No, I
Too
get
fucking
it.
bad. You had a bad game.
But
Sucks
now
to suck, bro.
you're looking at 7 and 10 being a difference of 6 games. That's awful.
Yep.
That is awful.
I know it's a stupid idea. That's like allowing.
Brian, I understand why they're trying to do it and the load management thing, and just the NBA has always had a problem with
let's be
getting
real.
rid of
That's-
teams,
Brian,
stopping teams tanking. But that's nothing.
both
to
of
do
you
with
are
it.
wrong. You
It's
wanna know why
money.
they-
Has money,
Bingo.
more games, more playoff
It's
games.
not more games. It's now Zion that doesn't have a chance of sniffing the playoffs because they're 6 games back. Can have a primetime play-in game where it's focused. Everything is on him. Ja Morant, that is borderline not making the playoffs, can have his play-in game where he's a focus.
Listen,
That's why the NBA is doing it, so they can focus on the guys that would never make the playoffs yet.
It's the NBA.
And
If
put 'em
you
up in
can't be
limelight
in
so you
the
can get the
top
fucking-
8 teams in your conference.
Top 16, yeah.
I said conference.
Oh, my bad.
The top 16 teams in the league. I don't want to fucking watch you.
Right.
I don't care if it's Zion or it's Ja Morant. I don't give a
Oh,
shit.
no, I'm saying that's why the NBA is doing it, period. Period.
No, I understand why, and you're 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
You're dead ass on point with that. I don't want to watch those teams play. I don't fucking care.
But we are the old school fan now.
I know we became.
Think about this.
It took
We
like 2
are-
years, and we became the old.
We
heads.
are the old guys that watch sports now.
Turn on.
Because
What is this?
no, but I'm saying the reason why I say that is if you listen to the people that are in our age group, and we're not even old yet, even though
We're not old yet.
even though Sean looks like he is, he's not. He's actually the youngest one out of all of us. Anyway,
I'm Chinese, so whatever.
Sure, he is.
we watch the NBA and we're like, what the
didn't
fuck? Like, we watch some of the shit. We're like, why would you do
Ping
that?
pong,
That wasn't a
ping pong.
basketball play, right? These younger guys and kids and stuff that are watching it, they don't give a fuck if their team was trash. They just want to see Zion in the playoffs. They just want to see Ja Morant in the playoffs.
Wait, but
They
why?
just wanna see
But
sneakers.
what do you give? What do
Bingo.
you give a shit about whether? Listen, Zion.
Why?
losing-
Because the people that are younger and watching it, the NBA goes, well, we got them hooked for the next 8 years.
So
They're going to buy product. They're going to buy everything.
So here's an idea. Look at what MLB does and how they market their games, then do exactly the opposite, and you'll be fine. Like that's all you got to do.
Which they already do. Did you see-
But
did you
they're
see what they
already
did
marketing
yesterday?
Zion. No one, that one play-in game isn't going to change anything for any.
would've
That
liked
doesn't move
this.
the needle at all.
You remember how in football, Nickelodeon did a game? They did one of the playoff
Yeah,
games with the Chiefs.
slime cam. And
Did
all
you
that shit.
see what they did yesterday with the NBA game?
I
It
did
was
not.
Curry versus Zion.
Nope.
They did a Marvel arena. So, like, everybody's names were done in comic book script. When somebody got the ball, they would get, like, the blurb above them that showed their name. Like, it was almost like video game status.
Yeah.
But then they had Avengers come on and talk, and, like, during, like, post-game, mid-interviews
This
and shit
sounds
like that.
terribly lame.
I like how you said you would like this. 'Cause
You
I was
would like it.
First of all, no.
Yes, you would. You want to know why they did it, Joey? For one, because it's ESPN
Children.
and it's owned by Disney.
Duh.
For two, all the little kids that sweat Marvel and the little teeny boppers that sweat Marvel that don't really give a shit about basketball right now, they're like, hey, look, it's a Marvel basketball game. Hey, you know,
Yeah,
that's
but does
kind of
it-
cool.
Did that ever work for you though? Like it never worked. I remember being a kid and shit like that, like gimmicks like that. It never worked
Oh,
on
you
me.
want to
either.
bet? My son has no care in life about football. He knows it. He knows what it is. He knows when it's on. He knows not to fuck with me when I'm watching it. Those are the things he knows about football.
Okay.
All of a sudden, he saw SpongeBob on a football field after a touchdown celebrating. He was like, is that SpongeBob?
How old's your kid?
13.
So 13 years old. At 13 years old, you know how much I cared about football? Like next to nothing.
No, see, I did.
I did. It was there. It was something I did, but I didn't like alter. It wasn't like every Sunday was like, oh, it's football. No.
Yeah, all right, I'll give you that. But
wasn't-
like, but if it
it-
was on, I'd be like, oh, cool, football's on.
It was, oh, cool, football's on. It's something to watch if I'm not doing anything else, which literally at that point, at 13 years old, 12 years old, meant literally anything. It was like, okay, are Ryan and Brandon outside building a fucking sweet jump out of fucking firewood and plywood to go ramp our bikes off of and see how many bones we can break? Great, that's taking precedence over football. Like, I watched and I was a fan, but I didn't dedicate my life to it.
No, I didn't dedicate either. But
what
I
I'm
watched.
saying is
but
that,
but look, my son had zero interest. Doesn't give a fuck about football. For all he knows, you kicked it.
right, but he didn't have any interest in football before that either. He only cared because SpongeBob was on TV.
Right.
So he was
But
like, SpongeBob.
what
so
did he
what's gonna
say?
happen what's gonna happen in September when you're like, hey, remember this game that you liked when SpongeBob was there? He's like, yeah. And you're like, yeah, SpongeBob's not here anymore. He's like, all right, guess I'm gonna go
No,
fucking
that's
watch.
exactly what he said. You know what he said? He was like, "They gonna do that again?" And then last night he saw the Marvel thing. He's like, "Oh, Marvel's basketball. So what? Football's Nickelodeon. Marvel's like basketball." I was like, "I don't know," but
It's a different thing.
It's a
Right.
gimmick. It's
Of
just a
course
fucking
it's a
gimmick,
gimmick.
and it's a grab.
but it's something that they're trying to
doesn't-
do
it
to
doesn't-
make
but
attention.
It doesn't move the needle.
It's
We
Disney.
all know that.
It's
it doesn't move the needle.
Disney.
No one went to Space Jam and then like came out of Space Jam and was like, I want to go watch the NBA now. Like, no.
Did you see the trailer for Space
Nah.
Jam, by the way?
No.
Fucking awful.
Dude, it looks like
Awful.
Ready Player
I'm-
One. It's exactly what it is.
Yes.
I'm
exactly what it is.
more fucking pissed off that they delayed Top Gun 2 until November than
Well, no, they want to like people to go see it in the movie theaters because that's what their intention
No,
was.
just give it to me on HBO so I can fucking watch
no,
it
the
at
theater
home.
it would have been out, but the theaters will be open by the time it's out. Don't worry.
I know, but they want like nothing up against it. That's why they picked November.
Can we talk real quick about how they canceled the feast again this year prematurely?
Yeah,
And
but
then they opened up everything.
yeah, but they made the decision. I found out in February, and then they just announced it like whatever it was, like 2 weeks ago.
Who the fuck makes that decision?
The
Honestly, it's the committee.
yeah, the
I
committee.
I mean, listen,
Literally.
they should all be fired.
Yeah, but
They
this
should
is-
all be
this
fucking
was,
fired.
Joey, this was the issue because I know a few people that are in it. This is the issue. If they say, yeah, hey, it's on, and they spend all the money to get everything here and get everything
Yep.
ready and all the food
They
and
get
all that
nothing
bullshit,
back.
and then Baker's like, nah, we're shutting down again. Guess what? They just blew 10 grand.
No, you
No, more than that.
I'm just throwing out
Yeah,
an easy
all
number.
right.
no, you know what you do? You say, "Hey Baker, we don't give a fuck what you said.
Yeah, they can't.
We're doing whatever."
And
the
then
fuck
guess
we're
what?
having
And then
a
he says,
feast."
oh, that's great. You never have another fucking feast here again.
Oh, he can't do that.
Yeah, they don't want to get into all that bullshit.
Can't do that. No, because this is the problem with people. Everybody's being little fucking. Listen, I just came back from the glorious Sunshine State of Florida, where I took my mask off in the airport and I didn't put it back on again for 5 days. Okay, there's nothing to be afraid of here. The fact that they canceled the feast again this year is beyond fucking retarded to me. And the fact that they're actually going along with this shit and they're not saying like, wait, hold on. This is the biggest event in the city, and you're telling us we can't have it now for the second consecutive year?
It's a financial decision.
It's a financial
Well,
decision.
it's a financial scare is more like it. Like
Yeah.
I
But it's
said, if they go all in and they order everything, they get everything going, they set
A
everything up,
band, all that stuff.
and then it's like, nope, can't do it. Like,
You have
Fuck.
the feast. You don't. Who cares what Charlie Baker says? Charlie Baker doesn't preside over New Bedford. This is the problem. People are so unwilling to throw
No,
up their
he
fucking
doesn't-
fingers.
He doesn't
and-
preside over New Bedford, but you got to pull permits, you got to pull things, you got to do stuff, you got to get police there, you got to. I mean, there's shit you got to do.
or you can just do it.
Okay.
I don't know. I think they weren't going to go all through that and get like bad publicity. They just said, you know what, we'll just cancel it.
Bunch of fucking bitches.
But I think they did. I know I found out they canceled it like in February, but they didn't make it officially announced until like.
of
whatever
course
it was,
not,
2
because
weeks
they were
ago.
way too chicken shit to make the fucking
It was
announcement in
super
February.
early. They had to do all that planning like months in advance.
Chicken shit. Fucking chicken shit.
I
You mean
get
to
it.
tell me? You mean to tell me I can go down to Florida and rub elbows with hundreds of people in close contact with no masks? And who cares if they got vaccinated or not?
Same thing in Texas.
Everywhere else, and cases just
Kansas?
continue to fucking plummet, and everything's fine. But New Bedford can't have a cookout.
Wait. When's the feast? I'm dumb.
August
to when-
1st.
First weekend of August.
First weekend of
Oh,
August.
so technically they could have.
That was
had
when it was opening. Yes.
Ah, it sucks.
What? Hello, Sean.
I know, but I don't realize. I thought it was July. I don't know.
I know, but you're one of those people that like don't pay attention to anything that's going on when it comes to like the COVID. And
Dates?
everything.
No,
you
dates
ever
are like
watch?
that.
You ever watch Jay and Silent Bob?
Which ones?
Strike Back.
Yeah, of course. Go on.
This is the pulse.
Yep. No, I don't have it.
This is your finger.
Nope.
Jammed straight up your ass,
Fill in the
furthest away from the pulse. Say,
But I can.
would you like a cup of coffee?
But I can feel it.
Excellent reference, Keith.
But yeah.
And then we cue the music.
Diddly
Nap, nap, nap. Nap,
Should
nap, nap.
buy horses. Would you fuck me?
I'd fuck me. Fucking
Uh,
great movie.
It really
Give me
was.
the map, Scott.
Give me the maps. I
What are you
don't know what the
saying?
fuck you just said, little kid. But I'm gonna help you out.
I'm gonna help you out.
Give me the map, Scott.
Give me the map, Scott.
It's my favorite
I haven't
part.
seen that in so long.
You don't have to. It's just there. It's in the memory bank.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
He just walked up to the camera, saying all slowly. Hey, what's his name? Silent Bob lost. Well, he had to lose all that weight because he had a massive heart attack.
Oh, what, Kevin James?
Yeah, Kevin
Yeah,
James.
No, not
dude.
Kevin James.
No, Kevin James
Kevin
is fucking
James, Queen of Queens.
Paul Blart.
Yeah, King of
Mall
Queens. What's
Wow.
that? Kevin.
Get your shit together, Fats.
Kevin,
Damn.
Kevin.
I can't think of his name. Fat. I know his podcast is like Fat Man on.
Yeah,
Fat
but
Man.
now he's like skinny
Fat
man
man
with a
on
big
Kevin
head.
James. You just said Kevin James. I don't think.
I
That's
really
it.
think it's Kevin James.
It might be. I
I'm
can't
telling you,
of it
I think
right
it's
now.
Kevin James.
But he had to lose like 75 pounds.
Dude, he's small.
The doctor basically told him like, "You're lucky you're alive after that heart attack."
Well,
like,
and
you will
Jay's just
die.
like hardcore heroin addict.
Yeah,
Like
bad.
Yeah,
Well,
bad,
no,
bad.
he's off. He's clean now.
He's off, but he looks like shite.
Yeah.
Well, what's his name?
Kevin Smith. Thank you,
Kevin
Tori.
Kevin Smith.
Good job,
Good
Tori.
call. But yeah, so I think Kevin Smith ran into Jay. I don't know his real name. Ran into Jay, and he was just like, "Hey, you want to go see the new Justice League together?" And they went, but he said it was like totally weird and different because remember how he looked like in Zack and Mary Make a Porno? That was like right as he was like still doing heroin. He was like already all strung out.
Well, what was didn't they do one last movie, and he was all fucked up?
What? Another Clerks? Is there Clerks?
No,
3
they did
or
like
no?
one last
Yeah,
movie. They
the
just
one
did a movie. It was
came
like a
out in
couple years ago.
2019, I think.
Yeah,
What was the one in 2019? I don't
it was
know.
like Jay and Silent Bob fucking do it again or some shit like that.
Oh,
Reboot. Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
even know that.
And he looked like complete
Yeah,
arse.
Shannon Elizabeth's in it though.
Yeah, she's in all of them.
She's in all of them. She's married
The
to
Mallrats.
somebody. Yeah.
She's married to I'm a freaking demon. That dude, fucking Jason Lee.
She's not married to Jason
I
Lee.
thought so.
No, she's not. Jason Lee's married to somebody else because Jason Lee's daughter, you know what his daughter's name is? Pilot.
Oh.
Her middle name, Inspector. Her fucking name is Pilot Inspector Lee.
All right.
It's a badass name.
Doctor Inspector Lee.
Oh,
I
she's.
just think of Jackie Chan.
Oh yeah, I mean, she was American Pie, right?
She was Nadia.
Yeah. that's
Hello.
right. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
And she looked amazing for like 20 years. Now she's starting to look old.
Well,
She's
she's probably 50.
at least
No, she's
10,
40s.
15 years old of us.
No,
She's-
I mean,
she's
like,
50.
but she managed to look like the same.
She's in Hollywood, dude.
I know, but like, and then like right now,
Look
she's
at
like
George Clooney. He's looked the same since.
He's had gray hair since the same time as me.
Yeah,
So
no
have
shit.
you.
So at 50, I look the fucking
I'm
same.
fairly
I'm
certain.
so happy.
I'm fairly certain
Maybe.
Pierce Brosnan looks exactly the same way he did in 1997. as he
Mrs.
does now.
Doubtfire.
He does, except he's a little more wrinkly around the eyes.
Hmm.
He's like,
All right, and on that note, we're going
Doubtfire.
home on Sean wrinkling on the eyes.
Sean wrinkling on the
Winkling.
eyes. All right, we'll be back next Tuesday night. Don't be surprised. The studio might look a touch different next
Oh,
Tuesday.
fucking better.
More flags?
Got some big plans for the
Oh, I
night.
thought you said, yeah, more flags. I was like,
You know what? Now I'm going to put more flags up.
I just come in here, there's 15 flags. You're like, you like? And I'm like, oh.
You're like, what do you mean? He's like, I colored the walls with flags.
Flags. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Joey Fats Radio, Row 1, Seat 1. With me, as always, Sean Pettencourt, Darkness. This has been another episode. Make sure you check us out, row1seat1.com. You can catch us right here next Tuesday night. The Monday night show will be starting up shortly. We were working through some things with that, but we'll be getting to that soon. And give us a like and a follow. Make sure you give the show a share. Check us out on Spotify. That'll be up within about an hour after we get off of here. So by about 11 o'clock, you should have the whole broadcast
The full
available
Monty.
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff. So we will check y'all next week. We appreciate y'all. And deuces, bros.
Adios.
Peace.